Tomorrow morning on S2C TV, we launch children's S2C as Nunu makes a deal with Satan in the premiere episode of Hellytubbies. But now though, time for our own hellish abomination as Formula 1 and Top Gear combine to create FormulaGear. This is Formula 1 for the PlayStation, and the track is Monaco. Today, several brave people will be trying to go round this track as quickly as possible to earn high-ranking spots for Television Takeover. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FormulaGear. Hello folks, my name is the Kiwi Dragon, and I am the host of the Television Takeover Square Rally event. Now, as mentioned during the top of the cold opening there, yes, we are playing Formula 1 on the PlayStation, going around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit to see who can go around this track the fastest. But why? Well, we have 12 people who sign up for this event, and they need to be ordered into specific matches for round 1. Rather than doing it randomly or by some other method, I thought, why not go around an incredibly tight circuit on a Formula 1 game that none of us have ever played before, using unique cars that we all have to pick out just by adding a number to our sign-up sheets. So a number was chosen by each person from 1 through 13, and they've all got an individual unique car, no repeats, no overlaps. And now they'll be going through this track, posting the fastest possible times to set them up in their triple charge match order for round 1. So first place will face off against 5th place and 9th place, second against 6th and 10th, third against 7th and 11th, and 4th against 8th and 12th. And what follows is a unique format showing these qualifying laps and some interview segments, starting with our first driver. Right, well, my first guest, he's already here next to me. He is my co-host for TV Takeover. He is a previous host of a couple of events here on Square Charge, including Quickelodeon. He's also been very successful previous events, quarter-finalist at one point. I think you've been a grand finalist, a runner-up at one stage in another event.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobbledink, everybody.
Hello, YouTube watchers. It's your boy, Bobbledink.
So, Mr. Bobbledink, first of all, before we go and talk about your lap, well, the lap you haven't done yet, because we'll be recording that in a minute. Let's talk a bit about TV Takeover itself, the genesis of it. Sure. So, obviously, initially, this for me was sort of going to be a BBC. Obviously, event inspired by Quickelodeon. We expanded that, made it bigger, and opened it up to more TV shows. So now that we've done that, what's a game based on a TV show that you really want to see in this event?
Oh, that is a good question, because some of the ones that I wanted to see, we've kind of done as exhibition races already. Mm-hmm. In terms of other ones, I mean, I think because it was originally like a BBC-style theming, I am leaning towards more of the British shows and things like that.
For sure.
Like, I know there's a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. I'm not sure if Weakest Link can go again because we've done it. But
yeah,
I would
it can still go again. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I would
only once
do some.
So
yeah. I would be keen to do something similar to what we've done with Crash Bash that you would have seen on the channel so far, where we used like RetroArch to have multiplayer.
Yes.
So it could be like sort of a race, but it's one screen, you know, and it's literally this player versus this player. Because I think it was entertaining enough when we were doing separate games, but one game where the races are actually against each other. That could be a really fun sort of concept.
Absolutely.
And then Gin Juice made a reference to a certain DS King. So if there's DS games of anything, expect to see it.
I'm half expecting to see a race of House MD for the DS now that you've said
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network Racing as well.
That House MD was actually the reason I got someone to sign up, because I said you could possibly play this game, and she said to me, "Oh, okay, I might do that one. We'll see." So yeah,
better be quick. I might do it.
Is there any television shows, just to get to know you a bit more personally? What would you say maybe top 5 television shows of all time? Doesn't have to be anything super cool or anything.
Yeah, I guess in no particular order, it'd be something like South Park, BoJack Horseman, Modern Family, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I mean it's sort of tied position, but like Friends and The Big Bang Theory. I think those are both kind of similar concepts, very different shows, but similar in concept. Yeah.
I don't know if there's many games for many of those. I know there's a Friends trivia game, so that could be a thing. But
yeah,
South Park's got several games at least. So
there's also on YouTube, a lot of YouTube channels do like hour-long trivia videos. So I mean, technically, we could do a race where we stream that and answer the questions and whatever. And there's a mediator.
Yeah.
Like that's very possibly, though. It would really depend on the context or contents of the quiz, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, with regards to your laps, so you've had the 3 practice laps.
Yeah.
You, of course, picked out... what was the number you chose? It was number 2, wasn't it?
Yes, my favourite number.
Yes, so you got assigned the Williams Renault, so pretty decent car in the grand scheme of things. And the driver you chose at the end was...
the world champion guy, though not at the time. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, that would be... oh, God, I've forgotten his name.
Joe something or other?
Damon Hill.
It was
Damon Hill.
Yeah.
Damon, how dare I forget Damon Hill? There's going to be somebody in the comments going, "You forgot Damon Hill?" Yeah.
Damon Hill.
My favourite Sky Sports F1 pundit, former pundit, I should say, probably at this point. But so you've gone with that. You've had 3 practice laps. How do you think you went with the 3 practice laps?
I think they went okay. Like, they weren't brilliant, but then that's often the case when I'm playing a game that I've never sort of touched before.
Yeah.
I think because I was interestingly recently playing Crash 3 Warped, I noticed in those driving mini games, instead of like holding X the whole way around, it kind of incentivizes you to like take your foot off the gas to like turn easier.
Absolutely.
And so weirdly enough, because of that, I kind of had that in mind for this.
Crash 3
and I think
Warped
that's definitely
translates to Formula 1. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of crossover if you think about it. But yeah,
despite the fact that Warped, released in '98, and this game I think was '96 or '97. So
yeah. Thing is, before this though, like other than say Mario Kart, like a lot of my sort of big racing experience was in a game called Crash Tag Team Racing, and that's famously not so big on racing. It's more platforming, and even the races themselves are just glorified shoot 'em ups where you can just destroy all the cars and then you can unfuse at the end and get first place.
Absolutely, yeah.
I always found being the shooter fun anyway. So
good fun. I quite enjoyed that. So
that's the only thing that would make this game better, really. If you could just latch on the back of someone else and just terrorize all the races.
Yeah. Right. Well, with that in mind, I suppose my last question comes down to: how do you think you're going to do time-wise? Do you have like a rough estimate of how quickly you'll get around Monaco?
Well, looking at my time there, it looks like it was, 1 minute 59 seconds or something?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like per lap or total time.
That's per lap, yeah.
Oh, per lap. Okay, well, based on that time, I'd say like 4.5 minutes, maybe, unless I've actually.
Oh no, so that's a singular lap time, is what I'm saying. Is that is?
We're just doing one lap, are we?
Yeah, we're just doing this qualifying now is just one lap. So if you botch it, then you're done.
Okay.
So don't put it in the wall. That's my one bit of advice.
Yeah. Then it's maybe like 1 minute 50 seconds or something.
Yeah,
is what I'm guessing to do.
1 minute 50.
Yeah. So
okay. I mean, you're the first person up, so you'll set the time, the pace for the rest of the board anyway. So
yeah, so I'm going to be on the podium after this run, regardless of what comes next.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
At least I was on the podium at one point, if I don't end up on it. So,
So yeah, no, as I say, my two biggest pieces of advice would be, try not to bid it in the wall, and definitely don't look at your time while you're going along. Just focus on the drive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just focus on the race.
Absolutely,
that's what it's all about.
Right, so shall we boot up your qualifying session and see how you do?
We shall, yeah.
And I'll give a bit of live commentary as we go through. Right, Here we go. You're on your qualifying lap. So, of course, you'll have this...
Ooh, I'm
a
bit shy now.
You'll have this extra bit just to warm up the tyres, just like you would in a real-life qualifying. Right, so...
Do not go too short.
Approaching the starting line. Good bit of speed there at the beginning. And here we go. The lap is underway.
There we go.
First corner.
I do that a lot.
And he's in the wall. Oh, dear.
It's okay. I'm out of the wall now. I recovered.
He has recovered. He's heading on his way now. Just coming up now to the first big corner. Lovely.
There we go.
The first tricky corner, I should say, rather. Here we go. Round this lovely little S-bend at Casino. There we go. Heading now down.
There we go. I very nearly turned left there. That would have been tragic.
Nearly into the harbour, yeah. Now heading through the tunnel. Lovely. Setting a time so far.
There we
that's
go.
good. Yeah. Making
and
good
I know
pace.
the bit we're coming up to next.
Yep, absolutely.
Because that kept mucking that up on the practice run, so I ain't doing that again.
Nice bounce there, but good recovery. Very good.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, here we go. Last couple of corners now coming up.
Yep. Okay, it's all good. It's okay.
Lovely.
So I got it. Yeah, I've got this made. There we go.
Big corner.
Yes. Yep.
There he goes.
Yeah.
He's back on the straight. And across the line. Right, so we just finished your lap. How do you think you did? I don't know if you saw your time. Did you see your time?
I wasn't really looking at the time, to be honest. Cool. I think there were like certain points when I bumped into the wall and whatever, but I didn't feel too bad about them because I feel like those are the points that I kept bumping in during the sort of practice session anyway. But I think I recovered well. I didn't take any wrong turnings, so I at least have that as a moral victory. So yeah, I'm pretty okay with how I did. Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Well, I can reveal. Obviously, you're the first person on the board.
Woohoo!
So
I'm on the podium.
No matter how you do, as I say, you're on the podium. So, would you like to have a stab at what you think the time was?
I want to say like 1 minute 45 seconds.
Okay. Bobbledick. Let me see here. You did it.
I'm scared.
In 1:40. 8.7.
Ooh.
So, automatically...
3 seconds out.
Yeah, you're 3 seconds out from your guess, but still not bad.
Yeah.
Top of the leaderboard, as it currently stands, obviously, because nobody else has been. But yeah, that's a pretty solid time. How you feel about that?
Yeah, pretty psyched, actually. That was an improvement on my last lap on the practice round. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Absolutely. So you've got another 11 people to come after you.
Of course.
Just as a bit of a guess, where do you think you'll stand at the end of all 12 having done their run?
Ooh. I'm gonna be like cautious, but not too doomer, and say maybe like 5th or 6th.
5th or 6th. Okay, I like those odds.
Yeah.
I think that's a good shout.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, you might place higher, but as I say, at this stage, I think, it's probably good to set those expectations low, yeah.
It's the same energy like when you get a predicted grade for an exam. The school will always lowball it, so that if you do what they actually think you'll do, like by their metrics, you're smashing the predictions. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, well, as I say, you've done well for your lap. Thank you for joining me for this lap, and I'll see you again a bit later when I'll get you to host my lap at a later point. But yeah, the next person coming up, I have no idea who they are. We'll figure it out, and you'll see on screen in this video. Be surprised by whoever the next name is to join us for setting their time. But until then, thank you for joining. All right, and the next guest, it has arrived. It is Mr. Dreadclaw Dragadon. Welcome to you, sir.
Greetings, folks.
So, just to recap your previous history with Square to Charge, Square Rally events. So, the only one that you've done before, correct me if I'm wrong, is Pixar Panic?
Correct.
You haven't done any of the Jack boxes, have you? I couldn't remember if you had.
Nope.
No, that's fine. And in Pixar Panic, you made it to, I think it was the group stage. You didn't get any further into like quarterfinal, semi-final, etc., did you? In that regard,
I believe so.
Yeah, thought so. Well, okay. Well, this time might be a bit different. So first of all, how are you feeling going into this?
A little nervous, but it's a challenge. I'm always up for it.
Absolutely. In terms of the event itself, so I asked Rodri this. Is there any, how do I put this? Any games that are based off TV shows that you would like to see in this event?
Well, by default, I would love some Toy Story 2. But what I would love to see would be one of my favorites, Tom and Jerry games, War of the Whiskers.
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't think
it's a pretty fun little Power Stone clone.
Right. And what console was it on?
Pretty much anything from the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox generation.
Sick. Okay. I didn't really realise there was a Tom and Jerry Power Stone clone, but now I'm going to go look that up after this.
The more you know.
Absolutely. Is there any others that you can think of in terms of games based off TV shows that you'd like to see?
None I could think of that's probably going to be in the tournament.
Fair enough. And in terms of just generally speaking, so not based on games and the games that are based on TV shows. I also asked this to, and I'll be asking this to everybody. Sort of maybe top 3, top 5 favorite TV shows. Doesn't have to be any particular order. Doesn't have to be anything that's deemed as cool. Like just what would you say if top of your head, top 3, top 5 favorite TV shows?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Mm.
Well, in no order. A few of them would be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That would be like one of them.
Yep.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yep.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Gotta go with the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Nice, yeah.
Vader Sim. Ed and Nettie. Oh, Arthur. That's like
Arthur.
another one.
Yeah, absolutely. I can vibe with Arthur, as you say. Yeah. I don't know how many that was. Was that 4 or was that 5? I can't remember.
I lost track. Of
I
count
lost track
too.
as well. So we'll just say one more. Go on, chuck us one more. And we'll call that even.
Futurama.
Futurama, good shout. I like that. I'd like to see the Futurama game again in this event because we did it once for Supercharged, me and Kat, and it was actually surprisingly fun. So I wouldn't mind seeing that again. But yeah, no, good choices. I quite like that. A few of those. So as I say, and I know there's a Buffy Vampire Slayer game out there and some Arthur games. So maybe we might see some of those. Who knows?
All right. I think it was one for PS2. Essentially, was a DMC clone.
I think you're right. Yeah. Right. With that in mind, you've had your practice laps going round Monaco. You're driving in the Sauber Ford because you picked, I think it was number 7. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How are you feeling now that you've done those 3 practice laps? Do you feel prepared to set a decent time?
Possibly. I'm
Interesting.
still gonna be shit at it, but you never know.
Exactly, you never know. And I mean, the only other person who's so far set a time is Rodri. And I can tell you right now what you would have to beat. But at the same time, I don't want to give you too much pressure because, yeah, I don't want you looking at the clock. So I'll tell you what you need to beat afterwards when I reveal your time because I won't get you to look at your time while we're driving along. But with that said, you feel ready to give your one-shot qualifying a go?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let's burn some rubber, brother.
Let's burn some rubber. I like that. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go. There's the lights. Cool. So now you'll get your rolling start. Pop it round the corner. Lovely. It's all right. Good news is you haven't started the lap yet, so. All right, here we go. Coming up now. And away we go. Right, coming up first corner. Ooh, bit of a hit there. That's okay. He didn't go in the runoff area, which is good.
I've learned the ways.
Coming up the hill.
The Kiwi grasshopper.
Indeed. Coming up the hill now. Good. Nice little bit of speed there. Good bit of braking. A little bit of wall, but it's all right. And then coming down here. Ooh. Well, you bounced off that one into the right direction, so that works. And then coming around the S-bend, down Casino. Lovely. Yeah, there we go. Heading towards the tunnel now. Good stuff. Getting a good bit of speed through here. Lovely. And then you've got the... Whoop. Bit of a bump there. And then coming around the final couple of corners here, so that's looking nice. There we go. Last couple
Walls
of
are really
corners.
my best friend in
They
here.
are, yeah.
Surprised the car's in flames yet.
I don't think it's far off. Okay, so we've just done the lap, and you have no idea what the time is at the moment at all.
Correct.
Fair enough. Right, so we'll go on to the lap time screen on my end. So, of course, the only person so far to have set a lap is Rodri. He did it with a 1:48.767, so 1:48.7. Where do you think you came?
I feel like I'm 140 or something.
140.
I feel like I probably did much better when compared to Rodri.
Well, I can tell you your time now. So you reckon it was in the 140s, yep?
Correct.
Okay. Dreadclaw Dragodon. You did it in 1, 40, 1.4. Which means you have set a faster time than Rodri. So,
damn, I feel on.
As you should, you now sit at the top of the board, a full 7 seconds or so faster than Rodri. How are you feeling about that?
I don't know how to feel, man, but I will do the F1 people proud. Be the champion.
You've done quite well, as I say, in the grand scheme of things, for having never touched this game before. I think you've done quite well, and also generally not being familiar with the Formula One game. So that's you done quite well for that. So well done. 7 seconds is a good gap. So it'll be interesting to see how the others perform, especially as I think we have the next person coming up very soon. I won't say who it is till I introduce them in the next segment. But I have a funny feeling that this next person might be, our next guest might be just as quick, perhaps even about as quick as you, I would say. So we'll see how he goes. But no, thank you for joining us, and thank you for setting your time. And we shall see you more in the event itself. Any parting words you'd like to?
Well, hope everyone does well, and speed on.
Okay, and we're back now with the third guest of the video, this being GizmoCat11. Hello to you, sir.
Hello.
So, we've had a couple of people before you, and we've just sort of ironed out the questions, basically, that we've going to go ahead and ask for this event. So, first of all, how are you feeling going into this?
Well, I mean, I was feeling kind of neutral in the beginning, but then behind the scenes, there were many technical issues, to say the very least. I'm not sure if that's going to be showcased in the final product. I don't know.
We'll
maybe
see. Maybe
it'll be shown off. And now I feel like I never want to see Formula One ever again, in a general sense, because I never cared about Formula One in the first place, and now I have to endure this race.
You do. Well, as I say, it's only one lap, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. The first thing I want to just run with you. So this is now, I don't know how many Square to Charge Square rallies you've been in. I think you did Gauntlet, it was your first one, 23, and then that was your runner-up on that one. You did Pixar Panic. I think you made it only to round 1 in that one, and you did Gauntlet again. We won't go into the second Gauntlet because we know what happened there. So this is your fourth one, by my calculation. Do you feel any sense of confidence going into it at all?
For the entire rally?
Yes.
I'm not sure, because sometimes I thought if I didn't know any certain games that I'd do fairly okay, but that has not been the case. I did win like a round or two a couple of times, but it's like after the first gauntlet, it all went downhill. So no, I don't have that much confidence, to summarize.
Fair enough. Any particular games that you're wanting to see in this event? So, games based off TV shows. Anything that you can think of that you'd like to see or like to play?
Ooh, I haven't thought about it. Well, I remember that there's a Lizzie McGuire game that's basically like a WarioWare ripoff. So maybe that.
Lizzie McGuire WarioWare ripoff. I like the sound of that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember the exact puzzles and stuff, so even if I were to do it, I wouldn't have an advantage.
No, fair enough. And then, just generally speaking, in terms of TV shows, so I've asked everybody else this so far. So just generally, in no particular order, 3 or 5 of your favourite TV shows. Doesn't have to be anything like exciting, doesn't have to be groundbreaking, you don't have to be, my favourite TV show of all time is Breaking Bad or whatever. Just any 5 shows that you love in particular.
Well, definitely The Simpsons. That's definitely something I grew up with, and yeah, I mean, I think I've proven. I don't know if I've talked about The Simpsons all that much in the past races. Interesting.
You've
who
talked
knows?
about it here and there, yeah.
Yeah, occasionally.
Um,
I would say King of the Hill is one that I liked watching a lot as well. It would always come on right after The Simpsons. So it was always convenient. It was animation domination on Sundays on Fox.
mhm.
I feel like I'm advertising, but I,
The fact that I
King
know what animation domination is, yeah.
King of Queens is definitely a show as well. It's kind of funny because I guess my grandma like ended up watching some episodes with us, and then after a while, she ended up asking about it. She was like, "Yeah, it's that one show with that couple and the old guy." We're like, "King of Queens." She's like, "Yeah, that one." It's like, "Oh, okay."
Good old Jerry Stiller, yeah, absolutely. Great show.
Yeah, and then I'll say something a bit unorthodox. I grew up whenever I was able to, because obviously I was in school and stuff. I grew up watching a lot of tabloid talk shows. I guess like the main ones are Maury Povich and the Jerry Springer Show.
Yeah.
I did go into these shows during one of the races for Tekken. I think it was Tekken 3 that I went into all of that. But yeah, honestly, they always have a special place in my heart. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. I know there's like a Netflix special, but I refuse to watch it because I do not want to think otherwise. Yeah, because it got to the point where I even did like a semi-intellectual essay of about those shows and why they're good for culture. But I guess that's a whole topic for another day.
Absolutely. Any other shows? And I think you've technically said 5 with counting the daytime TV, but anything else?
Nothing that stands out. I'll probably think of something after the fact, and then I'll complain about it in the comments later.
Fair enough. That's all good. As I say, happy to have more shows in the comments. Boosts the engagement after all of the videos. Right, so you've done 3 practice laps, and we had some technical issues, as you mentioned. How are you feeling now in terms of confidence about going round the track?
I guess we'll just see, because I was getting the hang of it, but then I kind of lost that momentum. So we'll see if that momentum, or which momentum, carries on.
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, we'll see if you can go round the track better than our previous 2 drivers, of course, being Rodri and Dreadclaw. I won't say who's where at the moment. I'll keep that for after you've set the time. But yeah, so I think at this point, all that's to be done is to crack into the lap. So shall we hop back over into Formula 1 and get that lap done?
All right.
Let's do it. All right.
Well, if I do spin out, let's hope it gives me a backwards camera view, so that way it can be more cinematic.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we go. So you're getting to warm up the tyres. Of course, don't drive it down the pits. Yeah, lovely. And we're away.
Whee.
And the timer starts now. Okay. Oh, into the wall. That's all right. And straight away, off we go. Up the hill.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, that is really getting annoying, the backwards camera view.
You're telling me.
I wonder what's causing it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you've taken a minor shortcut there through the front parking lot, but that's all right.
Well, it did tell me wrong way. So
it did say wrong way, but hey, it still works technically. Round the S-bend.
Yeah, the game does not want me to do well. I'm telling you that right now.
I'm gathering that much, yeah. Well, we're in the tunnel now, so you won't need to do too much braking, because it's just full speed through here until we get to that lovely corner, which you've just ploughed straight through. That's fine. Only a couple more corners to go. Just past the marina. Lovely.
Yeah.
This actually could be a fairly decent time, actually, by the things are going. As I say, almost, yeah. I can see you sort of hesitant, almost going for the pit. Yeah. Oh, and he's coming now, and lovely. Right, just park her up. Or whoop. Yeah.
Nah, that works.
All right, and now that we've done the lap, we're back on the lap times board screen. So, did you actually catch a glimpse, there, Gizmo, of your time in the end?
Yeah, it kind of did.
You kind of did? Well, I can tell you now what your time actually was. So your proper time was a 1... Well, actually, before I do, you sort of caught a glimpse. Do you reckon it's the fastest time on the board?
No.
Okay. Well,
no, because I hit the... No, because if I didn't hit the wall that first time, then I probably could have. I probably have a couple seconds off.
Well, I can tell you that you're... If for comparison, you would need to get lower than 141 to take the top of the board, and I can tell you that you have got a 144.8, which means at present you are currently second on the board.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm not last.
You are not in last. No, you are presently behind Dreadclaw. Dreadclaw set a 141. And you are ahead of Rodri, who set a 148.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, if I didn't hit that wall, I would have gone in first.
I think you probably would have if you hadn't hit the wall and if you hadn't maybe gone round the that car park bit that wasn't supposed to have gone through. But to be fair, they don't put barriers up, so I don't blame you for having gone through it. So,
whoops.
Ah, well. So, with that in mind, any parting words to say about the game or to say about this particular challenge?
Well, I mean, I guess Kiwi never fails to have his fondness Formula One spread to the rest of us, even if we don't even care about it.
I was going to say you're already sick of Formula One, which, good news, you won't have to play it for the rest of the event.
Yeah, well, I can take the silver lining.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would hope you would take it. So, yes, with that in mind, we now have 3 people on the board. So Dreadclaw still remains on top, then Gizmo, and of course Rodri. Will anybody take the top spot from Dreadclaw? We'll have to wait and see who our 4th person is, because they may or may not be ready for us right now as I record this. I'll have to double check with them in just a moment. But until then, we'll see you in a moment with the 4th person. Alright, well, we're back with guest number 4 now. This is, of course, Midnight Hart, and we will be doing your timed lap in just a few moments. But before we go ahead and do that, just a few questions for you. So first of all, how are you feeling coming into this, just the whole event in general?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good. Bit of an amateur at racing games.
Bit of an amateur at racing games. Well, as I say, you know, you've had successes before, so you know we'll see how we go. Previously, when it comes to you racing video games, so just off the top of my head, you were in the 99. You came in round 1 in that one. Then you did Quickelodeon, round 1 in that one. Were you in Jackbox Gauntlet 23?
I was.
What do you remember? What position you finished in that one? In the original Jackbox Gauntlet.
I think it was 5th.
I think it might have been 5th. Yeah, I think you might be right on that one.
Yeah.
And then you did Pixar Panic, and you were in round 1 again for that one. And then we did Jackbox Gauntlet again in December just gone, and you came in, I think it was 8th. Was that right?
8th.
Yeah. So
that sucked.
you've had a fairly mixed bag, but you know maybe this is the one to change, you know, your ways. Well, rather than how, I should say, what is a game based on a TV show that you would like to play in this event? If you could play a game based on TV, is there any that you want to play?
Ooh. I was actually pretty good at the Hannah Montana game. I think Spotlight on Tour. That one was my favourite one.
Hannah Montana, Spotlight on Tour. Okay, is that the is that the one where she goes on a world tour or something, and it's like a rhythm?
It is.
Yeah, I remember that one because my sister had it, and she could never beat the rhythm section. She always just wanted to go in the shopping sections. and just buy all the clothes. And she'd just turn to me and go, "Can you press all the buttons and beat the levels?" And I'm like, "Sure." I basically played the game for her, so yeah.
I am the best at that kind of game.
Well,
I've listened to all those songs.
Maybe we might see a Hannah Montana in here. I don't know. It could be something interesting to play, I guess. We'll see how we go. And in terms of just generally, I've asked this to everybody. Just doesn't have to be in any particular order, but 5 of your favourite TV shows just ever. Any type of TV show.
Ooh. Friends, The X-Files, Jackass, Hannah Montana, and it's another one. And Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, good shout. Yeah, no, as I say, those are all pretty new answers, except for, I was going to say, Friends. I remember Rodri mentioned Friends, so that's
the one with all the trivia.
Yeah, the one with all the... We actually talked about that, so maybe if you qualify well enough, you might face off against Rodri and you might do a Friends trivia game. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so you've had 3 practice laps. How do you feel you've gone in those practice laps? How do you feel? Confident or?
Confident.
Confident, good. And of course, you're in the Tyrrell Yamaha, which you're very excited by. I just say I haven't mentioned most of the cars to most of the others because they haven't really seemed that interested. But I know when you got drawn up with the Yamaha with the Tyrrell that you were quite excited and you saw Yamaha and you're like, yep, they make what was it? Good boats, good
boats,
motorbikes,
motors.
Keyboards, yeah. So
yep,
yeah, absolutely. So
I'm familiar with Yamaha.
Indeed. With that in mind, would you say you are ready to go for your timed lap?
I am ready.
All right. Without further ado then, let's kick off with your timed lap. You'll start in the exact same position that you started previously. And of course, remember, don't go into the pit. Here we go. Bit of a bump and barge. Oh, she's got in the pit.
Don't worry.
Oh dear. This is going well. Okay. Here we go. And the lap begins now. Go. Ooh, and into the runoff area.
I got
Backs
this.
it out. Lovely. Good. No, that's fine. You're doing well. You backed it out, so it's fine. Oh. Slight bit of lag there. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Oh, there we are. That's nice progress. Oh, into the wall. Oh, no. And into the other runoff. No. It's all right. There we go.
Oh, no, Salo.
Just past the casino. Lovely. And of course, coming up to the tunnel now. Yep, the spin into the tunnel. Lovely. Here we go.
Watch out for the tight left. Tight
Yep.
left, tight left, tight left, tight left, tight left.
Tight left. Oh, you remember the tight left. That's good. Let's say final couple of corners now. Just do your best. Past the marina. Lovely. Bouncing off the wall like a pinball. And you didn't go in the pit. Good. And here we go. Final steps now. Here we go. And across the line. So just drive it along now. As I say, park it up. It's fine. So you've done your lap. All sorted. And you reckon you did rather well.
Pretty well.
Pretty well. Right then. So, you'll know then, at this point, that you did Midnight Hart, a 2:6:160, which is 2 minutes 6 seconds .1 is enough for last place, I'm afraid. At least so far of the current runners. You needed to be in the 140s at least to be with.
I landed in the pit.
Yeah,
It was the pit that got me.
no, I don't think it was the pits. I think there was a certain moment. I think you went into the runoff, and I think that probably didn't help. So
Three runoffs.
yeah, basically all the runoffs on the track. So yeah, you're presently in last place, but it's all right. You're not eliminated at the moment. There's still time for you to come back. But how do you feel now that you've done the lap?
Pretty good.
You happy with that?
I am happy with it.
Good. So, yeah, number 4 done. So that's at least 1/3 of the field that have done their laps. So we'll be back in just a few moments with presumably guest number 5, who will have a go round the track and see how well they do. But once again, thank you for doing that, and we'll see you in the event itself. All right, and we are back now with the next guest. As I say, this is guest number 5. This is somebody who has been in previous Square Charge events. He has been in Quickelodeon, where he made it to stage 1. He was in Jackbox Gauntlet, where he was part of a double elimination, I think, for 7th place, I think is where he ended up. And then he was in Pixar Panic, where he made it to Group 1 again. Let's see if he can make it out of Group 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. CJC.
Hello, everybody. Mr. Round 1 himself. How are we?
Mr. Round 1, that's your new nickname there. So, how are you feeling coming into this for TV Takeover?
Quietly confident, which is... being as confident as I am, it's never gone my way. But considering this is Formula 1 territory, I feel like I'm a little bit in my element right now.
Absolutely. As I say, you've had some good practice laps. As I say, we won't go into what the times were or anything like that because obviously you've still got your actual timed lap for that to come. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But as I say, it looks like something that you could be potentially a dark horse in. Now, one of the big questions that I've asked everybody so far has been what sort of games that they want to see in this event. So games based off TV shows. We've had a fair few interesting ones, but I was curious what ones you would like to possibly play in this event if you were given the opportunity to pick them yourself.
Well, Kiwi, I feel like you might know the answer to this. Like, okay, my first choice would be the endless array of Robot Wars games that have come out over the last so early to mid 2000s. Arenas of Destruction, Extreme Destruction, Advanced Destruction, etc., etc. There's a lot of cartoon related games that I think I'd like to see. Like I'd love to have given myself an excuse to play Ed, Edd n Eddy The Misadventures, because I've never played it before and I'm a big Ed, Edd n Eddy guy. It's an American game, so I don't know if that will count, but I'm going to try. Apart from that, there isn't really much else I can think of. I'm happy to do whatever game you throw at me, even if it is Little Britain.
Yeah, well, Ed, Edd n Eddy would still count, as I say, as it's a TV show. That's absolutely fine, yeah. And speaking of TV shows, this is another question I've asked everybody that's come through here so far. In terms of TV shows, just generally, I've asked people to give me maybe a top 5, not in any particular order, but just 5 favourite TV shows, just sort of so people get to know you a bit.
Well, I have a canonical big 3. Mm-hmm. These are shows that have shaped my taste the most, and It would be Robot Wars, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Ed, Edd n Eddy. For number 4 and 5, I feel like number 4 would have to be Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. And number 5, that's going to be a tough one because I'm thinking of like 100 different shows that I could like list off the top of my head. But you know what? I do have a number 5, and it's Takeshi's Castle.
Oh,
Sticking with the Craig Charles sort of Craig Charles Cinematic Universe, the CCCU. Takeshi's Castle.
perfect. Yeah, no, I love Takeshi's Castle. I don't think there's a video game based on Takeshi's Castle, however, which is
Unfortunately, yeah.
quite sad.
That would have sold like hotcakes in the UK.
It would have sold gangbusters, absolutely. But no Takeshi's Castle video game. However, there are, like you said, plenty of Robot Wars video games, and yeah, I imagine
none of them are good.
None of them are great. No, I mean, Arenas of Destruction is sort of like, I would say to me, the standout one of the bunch. Maybe Extreme Destruction on the GBA. Because the Xbox One is the AI in that's a little bit weird, and I remember having issues with it. But those two were sort of at least the ones that I remember standing out being quite decent. But yeah, so those are some TV shows to get to know you, and of course the games you want to potentially play. And I imagine we'll probably see Robot Wars. I'd be surprised if we don't see Robot Wars in here somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a failing on both our parts.
Oh, absolutely. So, with that in mind, we are almost going to head over to your time lap. But one thing I just quickly want to acknowledge. So you, I don't think I've asked this question to everybody because they're not all Formula One heads. But you are. You've got Ligier as your team. And you have selected, remind us again who you've gone for your driver.
I've gone for the British sensation, the no-win wonder, Martin Brundle.
Perfect. And any particular reason you've gone for Brundle?
Well, us British got to stick together. I could have chosen Olivier Panis, but then I would have started another French Revolution, and I wouldn't want that. It's got to, sometimes you got to, pick up your not very good British drivers. That's unfair because Martin Brundle is a good driver.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just not a Damon Hill or a Lewis Hamilton or a George Russell or a So
see, it's interesting you say that because I think to myself, well, in the junior formula, he went wheel to wheel with Ayrton Senna. So
yeah. He was.
Is it a case that he's a bad driver in F1, or is it just that he wasn't given good enough machinery? Maybe.
I think like it's gonna be hard to argue the case that he was as good as Ayrton Senna, or maybe because like how many drivers can you say off the top of your head that you could argue are genuinely better than Ayrton Senna? And I can only think of one, and that's Alain Prost. And even then, that's debatable, But Martin Brundle was still really great, but he was in dogshit machinery for the majority of his time at Formula One. He had a massive accident in Monaco in '84 that might have that nearly killed him. I don't know if that took a blow to his confidence, but like he also was in Benetton at the time where Michael Schumacher was just the golden boy in Benetton, and there's a whole load of discourse around that I won't get into. It wasn't just him; it was Jos Verstappen and however many other drivers there were in Benetton at that time. But he. I think it's a mix of both, but I'm leaning towards crap machinery, crap cars. Like it given the right car and given the right time, I think he would have definitely would have been competitive for a championship.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of you say in terms of like drivers who could be better than Senna. I mean, I was thinking Schumacher myself. He would probably say himself, no, Senna was the best, as you would have seen in a couple of documentaries over the years. He would have said that Senna was actually the best. And fair play to him, but personally, to me it's Schumacher. But yeah. We'll have to move on because otherwise we're going to have to keep talking about this for the next 20 minutes.
This could be a podcast for all an F1 related podcast. It definitely could be.
Absolutely. So before we get into the time lap, just quickly, how do you think you're going to do?
I think I'm going to do fine, but again, my confidence has blown up in my face before, like with the qualifying round for Quickolodeon, where I was in that big gaping hole for at least 12 minutes trying to get in hole 6. If any eagle-eyed viewers remember that, I was leading that Incredibles race with Gizmo before my game crashed. Like, my confidence has blown up in my face a few times before, so I shouldn't get too confident. But I'm feeling good about myself right now.
Absolutely. Well, there's only one thing for it. Let's head over to the time lap and see how well you do. All right.
I love we got the lights.
The 5 lights, yeah, I love that. Good.
And it's go.
5 lights, go. Good old Murray Walker.
Well, that's a good start.
That is a very good start, but we're not quite on the time lap yet as we begin now. Lovely starts to warm the tyres, and he's in the wall! It's tradition! Everybody's done it so far. They've all got into that wall. Actually, I tell a lie. No, somebody went into the runoff area, so you haven't done that badly. But yes, still making decent time at the moment. So coming up now, over this lovely bump. There we go. Good.
I'm going to do the proper F1 driver thing and turn right in that little area. All right, into the hairpin.
Lovely. Right past Casino now. Love how they censor. I've just realised that those are supposed to be Foster's advertisements that they've censored in the game.
Oh, yeah. Marlboro was still a big sponsor back then, so they would have been properly censoring all of them.
Don't want the kids drinking beer or smoking cigarettes. Absolutely not. Oh, here comes the chicane. Oh, lovely. That's gone quite
Hopefully,
well.
no track limits there.
No, we don't. We're not believing in track limits in this one. That's not a problem. Okay.
This is 1995. Track limits don't exist.
No, it's not 2025 yet. 1995. Oh, coming past an arena now. That is looking like a possibly really. Oh, bumped it again. That's all right. Possibly really lovely time though. Here we go. Last straight. Power on ahead. And across the line. Right.
Okay.
So we've just done your timed lap. Fortunately, as I say, from the footage that I've got on my end, it actually sort of cuts off the time, but I was able actually to just watch that and figure out what the time on the clock was, so that's not a problem. So I can tell you now that your time is fairly good. I'm going to be honest with you. But do you have any idea where you think the time was?
Well, going by the fact that I did accidentally get a glance of whoever was pole position in my little race, it's under 1:30. That much I know. But how far down the leaderboard, I have no idea.
It's not quite under 1:30. It's fairly close by. It's not quite under 1:30 though. I can tell you that CJC, you did it in 1:33 dead on 0.085.
Wow!
So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And do you want to know the context of where that puts you?
I would like to know the context of where that puts me.
You are now top of the leaderboard, my friend.
Get in.
You are absolutely top of the leaderboard. You have pipped Dreadclaw for the top position. So, for context, you are a 133. Dreadclaw is a 141. Gizmo was a 144. Rodri was a 148. And then Hannah was a 2 minutes 6, but we won't go too much into detail. She went into the runoff areas a few too many times. So she gave it her best at least. But
as is her God-given right.
Absolutely, too right. But you are 133. That is frankly a brilliant time. Like I knew you were going to go round there quite well, but I didn't expect it to be almost a full 8. Well, no, that is a full 8 seconds faster than Dreadclaw.
Jesus.
That is blinding.
I was saying earlier, I was saying earlier that the fact that I know the track relatively well is probably going to be to my advantage, and I said that was it, but I didn't realize it was going to be that good. You know, I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed. You know, I don't get any. It's the small victories. I'll take anything these days. You know how I am on Square to Charge videos.
I mean, let's be honest. This is a redemption for you, really, because you said earlier on about the Rugrats qualifying. You had a handle on that, and then it sort of went to custard, and then from memory, the Pixar Panic qualifying. Was yours the one that was DNF? I can't actually remember.
No, I was last because I was DNF.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the leaderboard I was dead last.
But yeah, so you've come back. You've set the fastest time so far of the 5 runners that have come up.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's a brilliant time. So now we just got to see if anybody else can pip you to the post. I don't know who our next guest is, but they'll be on shortly in this video when I've edited it all together. But Mr. CJC, top of the leaderboard, thank you very much for coming in. And we look forward to seeing how you'll do based on this performance in the rest of the event.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right, and we are back now with the 6th guest for the Squares and Exceedingly Fast Cars round. And this, of course, is my next guest, who is, how do I put this? They've won Quickloadian. They've been a former Square to Charge world champion, or as it's now known, the casual competition controller holder. They came 3rd in Pixar Panic. Most recently appeared in Jackbox Gauntlet, which was, I think, a 10th place finish. Ladies and gentlemen, Rexy.
I thought you finished 3rd in Pixar Panic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you finished 4th. Yes, I finished 3rd.
Yes,
yeah, I
okay.
beat you in the bronze final. What am I on about? You can tell I've only woken up a couple of hours ago. How are you?
You can tell that I'm like burning the midnight oil right now as well, but I'm feeling fired up, Bob. We've got to keep the spy references somehow.
Absolutely. So, we've done your 3 practice laps. Just on a basis of the 3 practice laps so far, how do you think you went?
I mean, this is Monaco we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A very iconic Formula One course.
Absolutely.
But we're also contending with the very short PS1 draw distance. In fact, we're talking very early, close to launch PS1 with this one.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not been easy to get reaction times around. Though your words during practice have been a lot more reassuring than I was expecting, Kiwi.
Glad to hear
A lot of people having fun with the runways, fun with the pit stops, and
oh yeah,
we'll see what
absolutely.
goes with that. Yes.
The runoffs have been very apparent during the practice rounds, during the practice laps at least. So before we do your timed lap, just a quick couple of questions for you, and I've just asked this to everybody, and there's one other question that I've sort of left more for the Formula One, more knowledgeable in Formula One, should I say, sort of crowd. So first of all, the event that we're doing, of course, used to be, was going to be originally BBC Games. Now it's, evolved into a range of TV shows, games based on TV shows. So all across the spectrum, doesn't have to just be BBC. And so the question I've asked of everybody so far, or at least one of the 2 questions I've asked so far, is what game, if you had the choice, just purely your choice, based on a TV show, what game would you want to play at some point during this event?
I kept on rotating through so much, not gonna lie. I absolutely love playing platformers, which I feel like is the basic gist around Square to Charge, but I also feel like I wanted to end up bringing in some 4th gen, early 90s stuff. Like, I think it'll actually be really good to bring in specifically the SNES version of Animaniacs, of all games. The reason why is because I have played the Game Boy version, which is actually a port of the Mega Drive version, and it's one of those games that I actually not only grew up loving the cartoon that it was based on, but also having a seemingly solid amount of fun with that platformer, even though in hindsight, the critical feedback has not been very good with it. So it's just like absolute jank, and I feel it'd be a very... I mean, I feel like the game as a whole would be a fantastic fit for Square to Charge. Bear in mind, I know very little about the SNES version in particular, so whether it's as jank as the Game Boy stroke Mega Drive version or not remains to be seen.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think critical reception matters too much, really. I mean, if it's something you enjoy at the end of the day, you know, who cares what the critics say?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, this is the other question I've asked everybody, at least so far. Basically, just in no particular order, doesn't have to be any particular order. And when I say this question, I've said this a couple of times, doesn't have to be, you know, what you think are the best TV shows. I don't want people going, oh, you know, Breaking Bad is an all-time must-watch TV show, you know, thinking that they have to try and emphasize that, you know, it's they need to have correct opinions about TV shows or anything. So when I say this, 5 of your favourite TV shows, no particular order. It can be anything that's been on TV.
Okay, so one thing I gotta bring up first of all is Takeshi's Castle, which is the Japanese game show. Yes, you know this one, Kiwi.
I do.
Brilliant. Amazing.
It's really funny. Sorry, before I let you go on, it's really funny because the last interview I just did was with CJC, and he also mentioned Takeshi's Castle, and he mentioned it was part of the God, what did he call it? The Craig Charles Cinematic Universe, the CCCU. So I just had to have a giggle at that.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. I love you on that one. Actually, it did have an NES game, but I bet that would have been difficult to actually get a setup going for us to see. But
wait, there was a Takeshi's game?
A Takeshi's Castle game on the NES, but I mean specifically Famicom because Japanese release.
Yeah.
And it also required an extra peripheral as well, so that would be a difficult thing to figure out.
Okay. Yeah, no, because we were talking about this yesterday, and he said to me, he's like, I don't think there's a Takeshi's Castle game. And I'm like, I don't think there is either, as far as I'm aware. So you've taught us something here today. So Takeshi's Castle.
Yes, I'll make sure to share the link to the Famicom game later. I do particularly like... Okay, we're talking something a bit more modern, but one that had been taking my interest lately is The Traitors.
Okay. Yeah.
As in that real life Among Us in a castle with the murders and all of them what happened. The third season had just finished, and it just keeps on gripping you as you just end up keeping on going through all of that right there. So it's just like, we could just go with this. I do love a fair amount of quiz shows. I have to think about it. What would have ended up being like my favorite quiz show, just like growing up? Oh my goodness! Actually, I'm going back towards the old CITV days. I don't think you've heard of Funhouse, but I did mention that had Pat Sharp and the 2 teams of children just go in and do silly games and answer general knowledge games for points. Yeah. And then the winning team would end up going in the titular Funhouse. I absolutely loved that when I was doing the CITV rounds back in the 90s. That was so hype.
Yeah, as you said, I think that's a little bit before my time. Yeah.
I know, yeah. We're talking super far back, yes.
Because what point in the 90s would that have been? Because I was 97, so I presume it was more
before... like we're talking like, I think it's like 93, 94, around that time.
Yeah, definitely before my time, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely around there. Okay. Okay, so I mentioned 3 things so far. Okay, let's see, number 4. We're getting a little bit, a little bit more of upper class right here, I would end up saying, because we're going to bring up The Apprentice. Okay. And I'm talking the UK version with Lord Sugar and not any other outside ones. I mean, I'm understanding the formula of every single season with all of these haphazard candidates being brought in to do business-related tasks and just flubbering over it. I understand the production techniques behind getting them to just like struggle with what they do and all the exhaustion, but it does make for compelling TV for me anyway.
Absolutely.
Yes. And one more TV show I'd like to bring up? Oh wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh god. Of course. I got to bring up Taskmaster. Because that had been
yes.
yes.
Love Taskmaster.
I only just discovered that last year out of recommendation from a friend, and now I've been going back all the previous seasons just to see all these celebs just like stumble in and do their thing.
See,
it's ironic because
Oh, sorry, go on.
I mentioned all of these TV shows and hardly any cartoons, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, with Taskmaster, it's interesting because I came across that, I think, just before COVID. And the reason being was because I am a huge Greg Davies fan. I absolutely love Greg Davies. He's one of my favourite comedians of all time. And then I heard about this show and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And there's, I didn't watch the first season. Like, the first season that I watched was not the first season. I think the first season I watched was, oh God, was it season 5? I think it was, with Mark Watson.
Was that the one with what was that the one with Bob Mortimer in there?
Yes, Bob Mortimer was in there. It was Bob Mortimer, Mark Watson, what's his name? Nish Kumar, is it? I think.
Nish Kumar, yeah. Oh yeah,
and
that had
Sally
the fantastic
Phillips,
song.
I think, was in there as well. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Sally Phillips and Aisling B to round out the cast.
That's it, Aisling B. Yeah.
But yeah, season 5 had that amazing. I'm always seeing you doing cool stuff song that Mark and Nish did together at the end. That was amazing. I know people keep talking about Rosalind's a fucking nightmare. That is the literal title, by the way. But those two just like doing the wholesome thing after being absolute clowns for the entire season was just a whole arc rise for me.
Absolutely. So there's your 5 TV shows. And the other question I've got, as I say, I've left this more for the Formula 1 minded people, people who are at least familiar with the sport. You got McLaren, and you have gone with, so you had a choice of, I believe it was 3 drivers this season, which was Mark Blundell, Mika Hakkinen, and of course Nigel Mansell. And you went with, of course, Mika Hakkinen. Any particular reasoning for your choice of Mika Hakkinen?
So we did the number 12 before the qualifying session started, and I was assigned with Mika Hakkinen, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool with this one. He won a couple of Grand Prix seasons later on in the decade, so it's cool to end up referencing that and a couple of things later on. But that's like the closest link that I have. Nigel Mansell was a little bit before my time, so I wouldn't have known too much about it. It was like, by the time I started knowing about Formula 1 being a thing, everyone's eyes were at Damon Hill and later on David Coulthard to see them becoming big names in the British side of the sport.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, with that in mind, all that's left now is your timed lap. And just before we do it, just give me some sort of broad estimate. How quickly do you think you could do it in? Like, what do you think your rough time will be? Just give me a rough figure.
I didn't even pay attention to the time during the thing. You told me not to look
I
at
did
the
tell
time.
you not to, so my advice has held true. Good.
Yes.
So just a rough time, like a minute and a half, a minute 40. Where are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I have a feeling like a minute 45 may end up being the way forward with this, based on my first lap where I just like crash into a few panels.
Okay, minute 45.
But I definitely need to watch out. It's square. I mean, I know it's square to charge, but in this case, square is your friend, and that friend is there to slow you down.
Oh yes, they want you just to take it slow and take things easy in life. Yeah, absolutely. But obviously not too slow that you qualify last. So yeah.
More like square to charge on the brake, am I right?
Precisely. Right, well, with that said, I think it's time that we hop into the timed lap. So let's go and do that right now. All right, so here we are. We're getting the bit of a rolling start from 5 lights here by the marina, coming past the final corner now. Lovely. So we're heading up to the straight. Oh, no, that's the pit lane. No,
not again.
No, she's gone in the pit lane. It's happened! Someone's finally gone in the pit lane in the qualifying! Oh no! The good news is the lap hasn't started yet, so you might just be okay. I mean, actually, I think
That's
Hannah
fine.
started hers from the pit lane, so I might be wrong on that one. I'll have to check later. But it's okay. It's still salvageable.
It's fine.
Just do your best.
It's fine.
Yeah, just do your best. Here you go. Right, coming up the hill now. Lovely. Nice bit of braking there. Of course, mind the bump there. That's good. Now coming down the bend towards Casino. Oh, into the barrier. It's all right. I've seen people bounce off it like a pinball in these qualifying sessions, so you one hit so far is actually pretty good. Coming now towards the tunnel. That's nice. Very good corner there. Blast it through the tunnel. That is good. Good control. Now coming towards that big old chicane. Oh, right into the chicane.
It was a split. I couldn't figure out exactly how to get around that one. Yikes.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to get around. All right, now we're just coming past the first part of the marina where the swimming pool usually is. There it is on the right. Cool. Now just past the last bit of the marina where we were to begin the rolling start. Look at that. Lovely.
The rolling start, that never happened, though.
The rolling start technically never happens, yeah, because the pit lane. And, oh, coming around the... Oh, lovely. Bit of barrier there, that's okay. Keep going. Lovely. Now just on the final stretch of the straight. And good. Across the line. Right. Okay, so here we are on the lap times board. And we have got 5 previous people here on the board. So, Rexy, where do you think you came on the board?
On the board, I mean, I do not trust myself in a car in real life, so I do not trust myself on the board either. I know that you tell me not to undersell myself, but it's a car we're on about.
I mean, that's true, yeah. Definitely don't undersell yourself, but I think you've done better than you think you did.
Okay.
So, without any further ado, I'll reveal the time. So, Rexy, you did it in 1:40. 1.1. So that's actually 4 seconds quicker than you thought you were doing it, because you thought you were going to do it in a
1:45.
Yeah, 1:45. And would you like to know how that stacks up against the other 5 that have come before you?
Yeah, sure. Let's see.
Right. So, presently, at the time of recording this, so in 6th place of the 6th runners is Midnight Hart with a 2:06. Followed by Bobbledink with a 1:48. Gizmo with a 1:44. And then it gets really close here. Dreadclaw with a 1:41.4. Yourself with a 1:41.1. And
whoa!
Then, this is the really impressive one. Mr. CJC with a 1:33.
CJC the GOAT!
Yeah,
just
absolute
saying that.
madman. As I say, that lap was a belter to watch. So you've done very well. You've, as I say, come second so far in the standings. So as I say, that might change. You might have somebody else who might put in a couple of faster laps. A couple more people still to come yet. We've got another 6 after this. But yeah, how are you feeling now, knowing that you are second on the board, at least at this stage?
I think I echoed this at the start of the entire thing, and I'll say it again. I feel fired up, Bob. But it just keeps going. But yes, this is actually a very pleasured surprise for sure. I mean, I don't know what kind of perks that higher positions would have over lower, but I'm crossing my fingers and seeing what would happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There will be a sort. I don't want to say there's perks as such, but it's more just to settle round 1, and I just thought this would be a fun way of doing things. So to organise who's in each of the 4 heats for round 1. But yeah, so no, as I say, second place so far. That's pretty solid. As I say, you've done well. But yeah, thank you very much for taking the time out now to, especially I think it's 1 o'clock in the morning over there, for you to take the time out and get this done. Now that we're officially halfway with 6 people on the board, it's, yeah, very happy to see this all coming together. And You've done a very solid job. I'll be honest, when I saw that 141, I looked at that and I went, "Ooh, that's going to be very close to Dreadclaw," and I had to look at the time, and I was like, "Oh, she's just pipped Dreadclaw." So you've done well. You're second place for now. That may change, but at least at the moment, you're not at the bottom. I think that's the biggest takeaway of all, is that you're not last. So very well done.
It is, yes, and that is despite the pit start.
Absolutely. Despite the pit start, you're still second. So very well done. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you a bit more during the event itself. All right, we are back now with guest number 7. They are the inaugural, or were the inaugural Supercharged controller holder, formerly the Supercharged Championship, formerly the Exhibition Championship. They have been a 3rd place finisher in Jackbox Gauntlet 2023, 5th place finisher in Jackbox Gauntlet 2024, and now making a appearance in their first time in a proper full-length Square Rally event. They are also my partner, ladies and gentlemen, Kat Kayosi.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. You are, like I said, the 7th person to come into this, so we're getting really through the list now in terms of people who need to do this qualifying. And before we get to discuss, before we move on to your timed lap, very briefly, how do you think your practice session went? You had 3 laps around the track of Monaco. How do you think it went?
It went fantastic.
It went very well. Yeah, it went very well. Let's not analyse that too much further. I think most people would say that their practice laps were worse than their qualifying. So we'll see how you go. But before we go into that, so a couple of questions for you first. So first of all, I suppose the big question is there any games that you want to see in this event? So like games based off TV shows? That you
Honestly, haven't thought about it, to be honest.
You haven't thought about it at all?
Nope.
So you don't even have like one game based off a TV show that you could name that you'd be like, that'll do?
Nah, my mind's gone blank.
Okay, fair enough. Unusual, everybody else has had an answer. Well, in that case, we'll move
I'm not here to make your life easier.
Yeah, you're not, no. Let's move on then to the next question, I suppose, which is, and I've asked this to everybody else as well, just generally, doesn't have to be any particular order, but 5 favourite TV shows just for people to get to know you. Doesn't have to be anything, groundbreaking or, hugely successful or whatever, but...
5 shows, okay.
Yeah.
So Doctor Who.
Absolutely.
Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Every other TV show I've watched has just left my brain. Always Sunny.
Always Sunny, very good, yes.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, very good one. And one more?
Number 5.
See,
My brain's
there's
really
one,
gone on.
There's one screaming out for me, and I feel like that would probably be on your list, maybe.
You have a guess then?
House, MD.
House is good, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in my top 5, but yeah.
You wouldn't put it in the top 5? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Fair. I'm just trying to think.
South Park.
South Park. Yeah, there you go. That's even better. There you go. I know you're a big fan of South Park. Yeah, actually, there you go. Why didn't you say a South Park game for your game based off a TV show?
Because I don't even want to play Stick of Truth, and I don't know how you'd make that work in this sort of format.
I suppose most progress in 30 minutes to an hour or something like that. We'll find a way if it comes up, but that's something you'll have to negotiate with whoever you're facing in round 1. But before we get to that, there's of course the question of your timed lap. But before we even get to that, you picked a number and you got assigned a car, which in this case you got assigned your favourite team, which was Ferrari. You have the choice of 2 drivers. It was Jean Alesi or Gerhard Berger. You went for?
Jean Alesi.
Any particular reason?
He's the only one I heard of. I hadn't heard of the other one.
Somehow you haven't heard of Gerhard Berger, but you've heard of Jean Alesi. All right, fair enough. Yeah, we won't dive into that too much. And in terms of your lap, before we get you to do it, How well do you think you'll go around? Like, rough estimate of number of time. Like, we've
we're looking at the slowest lap. Yeah.
So if you were to put that into a figure of minutes and seconds, roughly how much?
2 minutes 30.
2:30.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if you go round 2:30, or we'll see if you go round any quicker than 2:30. So, with that in mind, I think it's time for us to hop over into the Ferrari and do your lap. Here we are again, back on the track, 7th car, and away we go. 5 lights. Lovely, lovely. Getting that rolling start. Ooh, very smooth, very nice. Yep. Beautifully done. And the time begins now. Here we go, round up to that first corner. Oh, and you've hit the wall.
Because the camera went funny.
It's alright. The camera has been known to go a bit funny. As you say, it happened to a couple of people so far, so it's alright. Okay. Up the hill now. Lovely. Good, good. Look at that, very nice. Tight corner there, good. Past the casino, coming down towards the tunnel. Heading into the tunnel now, very lovely. Maximum speed through here. And now, coming up to the chicane. Oop. That's the way of doing it. That's the way of doing it. Good, good. Now coming up to the final couple of corners here, around the marina. We get past the swimming pool. There we go, swimming pool there. Lovely. This could be pretty good. Alright, coming up last corners here now. Just need to make it to the finish line. Here we go. Belter of a lap, I think this is going to be. Keep it going, keep it going. And across the line. Alright, and we find ourselves once again on the lap times board. So, the top of this, you said to me you reckoned 2.5 minutes. That was the time that you reckoned you were going to set for this lap. Do you reckon you did 2 minutes, sorry, 2.5 minutes, or do you reckon you did better?
I did worse.
You reckon you did worse?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you get 2:30, you'd be happy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Well, no point keeping you in suspense. Let's do the reveal. So, Cat, Coyote, whatever we want to call you. You did it, the lap of Monaco, in 1
Bullshit.
40 5.1, which means you are above Bobbledink on the board. You are presently 5th, just below Gizmo.
Damn. I couldn't have beat Gizmo, but apparently the camera didn't mess me up.
I think you could have probably beaten Gizmo had the camera not messed up, and I think you probably... I reckon you probably would have maybe just pinched your way past Dreadclaw, maybe just below Dreadclaw, had it not been for the camera. But at the end of the day, you're 5th overall so far out of 7, and to be fair, that's not a bad run. Like you could have done a lot worse. You could have been in the 2 minutes. You thought you were going to do 2:30. You did a 1:45. That's a hell of a lap for someone who was, I think your fastest time in practice was 2:09. So that's a hell of an improvement. How do you feel having done 1:45?
I feel good.
So with that, your place is cemented there on the board. So now we have 6 people, and you're not the slowest. You're not even the slowest but 1. You are the slowest but 2.
Hey!
So that's an accomplishment in of itself. But
Like
yeah,
I've never done before.
absolutely. So not bad at all, not bad. But yeah, no, thank you for doing the qualifying here. Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up and I head on over to guest number 8?
No, I'm good.
Cool. In that case, we look forward to seeing you in the event itself when it kicks off properly with round 1. Now, by this point, we had recorded 7 laps with 7 players and 7 interview segments. However, I had had a stroke of twisted genius as I communicated to Bobbledink how I wanted to, let's just say, shake up the format ever so slightly. In particular, I wanted to do something that no other qualifying round in Square to Charge had done up until this point, because I really wanted to make it stand out. I wanted this to stand out from the bubble blowout round in Quickelodeon and from the lightning round in Pixar Panic by making this something truly special. We already had 12 people sign up for this event, but I suggested eliminating somebody. So, why not add a 13th entrant? With that 13th entrant taking the one leftover car, because there were 12 cars that had been taken, one car was left free. So whatever 13th entrant came in to disrupt the whole process and see if they could knock out one of the 12 people who had initially signed up for the event. So, with that said, it was just a question of who on earth do we really look at getting? Who would be crazy enough to do this? Who would be in for a bit of a laugh? Who would be willing to do such a thing? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we found him. All right, so I am back now with guest number 8. Now, before I go into this guest's accolades, before I let them say hello to the world, this is a bit of a twist. So, last night, me and Bobbledink, as hosts of this event, host and co-host, had a bit of a thought. We realised in this particular season of Formula 1 that we're basing the qualifying on, in 1995, there were 13 teams. And a point was raised to me, and it was something I'd thought about, and I thought, no, I won't do it. It seems a bit, not sure about it. But a point was raised to me about what if we had a 13th entrant, and that way then 12 would advance to round 1, and 1 would be knocked out in the qualifying. It'd be the first time ever on Square to Charge that we've had qualifying in any format, and somebody's actually been eliminated from said qualifying. So I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? Actually, that's really clever. Let's do that. So I got in touch with my next guest, a 13th entrant. I asked him, I said, hey, do you want to come in? Do you want to do it? He said, oh, I'm not sure about the tech issues, not sure about that. And I said, well, don't worry about it. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. And so we have. And as I say, before today, he's not done any Square rallies beyond Jackbox Gauntlets 1 and 2. He's always been fairly decent Jackbox in those previous ones, so fair enough. But how will he fare when it comes to Formula 1? Ladies and gentlemen, the only Canadian on the roster for this event, Mr. King of the Pigoose. Welcome.
Hello.
So you are the 13th twist entrant. So, what did you make of it when I messaged you going, hey, do you want to do this?
Was an interesting idea.
See, the thing was, I had thought about asking you previously, but then I'd reached out to a couple other people and they got back to me fairly quickly, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll just work with those ones. And then I just, when Rodri and I talked about the idea of a 13th twist entrance so that we could knock it down to 12 so we could actually have a proper qualification with an elimination for the first time, it was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, no, let's get, because like the first name that came up was King. Let's get King. Like that was the first name that came up. So I'm glad you accepted that straight away. So you've had your 3 practice laps. Now, of course, you are in the only remaining car that we had left. So everybody picked a number for their own cars. The only car that was left was the 11th car, which was the Forti Ford. So you took that out for 3 practice laps. How did you feel like you went with the practice laps?
About as well as I expected for that track.
Not as well as you expected. Okay.
As well.
About as well. I thought you said not as well. And I was like, no, I think you did fairly decently around the track on those practice laps. I suppose we'll come to the timed lap in a brief moment, but the thing I want to touch on first, a couple of questions I've asked basically everybody who's come to this event so far. So first of all, if you make it through now from the qualifying, is there a video game based off a television show that you would like to see in this event? Like if you had full control of whatever to play that's like based off a TV show, anything in particular that leaps out to you?
I can't even remember, especially for PS1 era.
PS1, Game Boy Advance, anything that your system can run, yeah.
I can't remember from that. You gotta remember, that's like, I was a kid then.
Not even like a WWF game or anything like that. I would have thought you would have.
Those about the only things I can remember are like the wrestling game.
I was about to say, I was wondering if you'd bring up the wrestling. So yeah, or a WCW game or there's an ECW game somewhere on PS1.
Those about the only things I can remember.
Yeah.
Besides like maybe if there was like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, but stuff like that.
Oh, there probably will be. Yeah, surely. As I say, and that's something I'd like to see, is some game shows in there as well, because I don't know if game shows are going to be popping up as much as I'm thinking they might, but I'd love to see them in this. So yeah, that'd be good. So a couple of games there could possibly show up. And I've asked this to everybody as well so far. Any particular order doesn't have to be, ranked or anything, but just any particular order. 5 of your favourite TV shows ever. Doesn't matter what they are. As I say, they could be, whatever you've watched and whatever you enjoy, but just 5 TV shows that you like, just so that people can sort of get a grip of who you are and get to know you a little bit.
Obviously, The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. So I've been watching that since before you were born.
Oh, yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Inuyasha.
Mm-hmm.
Early Pokemon, back when I used to watch that all the time, and 5th one might be the original CSI.
The original CSI, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a video game based on that. I think it's PS2 though, so I'm not sure if that's possible. But
first of all, I'm pretty sure CSI didn't start till like 98 or 98 or something.
Maybe there is a CSI game on PlayStation then, so who knows? Because I seem to remember getting loaned one on PlayStation 2, so maybe there's a game for that. Who knows?
2000 was the first season.
Oh, 2000. Oh, okay. Well, it's still within PlayStation 1 territory, so it might be. We'll see. So those are your 5 shows. Pretty nice balance of shows there. As I say, Simpsons obviously great. The animes, Pokemon in particular. I think we all watched Pokemon at some point, and then so now with your timed lap, we're going to do that in just a moment. I've asked this to most people as well. You're driving the Forti. Well, I say most people. Most people who know their Formula One. You're driving the Forti. It was the only car that was left. You chose, I think it was Pedro Diniz. Was there any particular reason, or just choose whatever?
I just randomly picked.
Cool. Just randomly picked. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, I was watching F1 back then. Couldn't watch every race.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, I suppose the only question I've got left for you is, with your timed lap, with your 40 that you're going to go around, do you have in your opinion, a rough estimate of what you think your lap time will be?
I'm just hoping under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes. Well, we'll see what we can do, as I say, because I've had people today say that they'd like it to be under a 1:45. I've had people say they'd like it to be under 2:30, and so far both of those have come to fruition. So under 2 minutes, we'll see.
Under one. Yay.
Yeah, somebody wanted it to be under 1:45. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, ooh, this could be quite a challenge, and that person did pull it off, I will say. I won't say who it is at the moment, but they went quite well. But yeah, I think, watching your practice laps, I think you've got a good chance of doing well as well. So we can only hope that's the case. So I think at this point, it's time for us to crack into your time lap, I think. Shall we head over and do that?
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's do it. All right, there's the 5 lights. You'll get your rolling start from here. And around we go, just past the last part of the marina.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there's a slight lag there. I don't know what's happening. There's a slight lag.
Shit.
Here we go. That's alright, you're going up the hill, that's nice. There we go. Looking fairly consistent so far. This has the makings of a good lap, as I say, from what I can see. But we'll see how you go. Nice.
And the same thing as my...
Oh no, into the runoff.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, into the tunnel now. I can hear it. There we go. Maximum speed, that's nice. Just coming up to the chicane. Cool. Just gone past. Oh, there we go. Lovely. That's nice. Oh, this is looking quite good. Just final couple of corners here now. Very good. And coming up to the line now.
Oh.
Lovely. That is a solid lap there. So just pot it in park and pause there for a moment. All right, so that is your lap done. As I say, footage was a little bit laggy there because of internet issues, but that is fine. That's not a problem. So I got to see your time at the end, and as I say, you put in a fairly decent time. And of course, you don't know what the time is at this stage. How well would you say you've been? Like, if you were to roughly estimate, do you have a rough estimate on time? Do you think you came in under 2 minutes, like you thought?
Probably, because I'm pretty sure. I think 2 minutes is what I really could do easily.
Fair enough. Right. Well, without further delay, I can tell you your time, King of the Piggies, was 1:50.6. So that means you are now on the board, and you are presently in, out of the total of 8 placements we've had so far, you are currently 7th.
Nice.
So you're definitely not eliminated. That's a good sign. You've got somebody below you. I can tell you for interest, the rest of the times, as I say, we've got Hannah on 2 minutes 6, who's below you. So then it's you on 150. Bobbledink was 148. Cat was 145. Gizmo 144. Dreadclaw 141.4. Rexy 141.1. And then, I don't know if you're quite going to believe this, but CJC 1:33. Absolute belter of a lap from him. So I don't know if anybody's going to beat CJC at this point. I think it's going to be a quite a task to beat that time that he set. But yeah, 1:50. How you feel about that? It's a fairly good time.
Yeah.
Happy
At least
with
I'm
that?
not last place.
Yeah, no, as I say, you're not last place. You're last but one, but as I say, it's still a solid effort. So yeah. With that said, I think all that's left to say is thank you for joining us as a late participant, and thank you for stepping in and doing your lap so quickly. And we'll see you during the event, because I think it's pretty safe to say that you'll be through to the next stage. All right, well, we are back now with the 9th participant so far in this event, this being someone who's not really had any experience so far with Square Rally events. You have, as I say, appeared in a couple of Supercharge events, I think at least one, possibly two now, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, this is Fifth Doctor 5e, aka Jade. Hello. So, basically, first couple of questions that I have to ask. So, you had your practice laps. How do you think you went in the practice laps?
Okay. I mean, because we're dealing with a game from 1996, I believe.
6, yeah.
This is the early days of racing games, so there are going to be a few bugs and things that weren't quite right. Even racing games that I played as a kid were a bit, let's say, janky, and the quality of the controls weren't that good. So, it's not going to be 100% perfect. I'm going to try my best. Hopefully, don't crash too much, but try and do the best time I can do in the time I have with the car I have on the map that's been chosen. So yeah, hopefully I don't do too bad.
Cool. And in terms of, I suppose that I've asked this for most people so far. The times that you set going round, did you have a look at any of the times when you put it in the laps for each of those 3 laps, or not really?
Because you said don't worry about looking at the time, I don't think
Good advice,
really
yeah.
I don't think it really matters. It just matters on focusing on getting round the track.
Yeah,
rather than what time you got.
And as I say, in terms of, as I say, what time you think you'll get, as I say, we'll come to that in a minute. But first of all, as I say, there's some other questions that I have asked everybody else, and as I say, I'll ask you as well. So, in this event, obviously, we're playing video games based off television shows, and one of the questions I have asked so far to everybody is, if you had a choice, say, if you were, when it comes to round 1, if you had the choice to pick a game for you and your opponents type thing that's based off of a TV show, do you have any games that you would like to see in the event being played, like specifically, that if you had the choice to pick them?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd have to say, I don't know whether it's been played before on Square to Charge, but it's a game I loved playing as a kid, which is the Simpsons Hit and Run game for PC. I loved that game as a kid.
It's not been played on Square to Charge so far. We actually talked about possibly doing it as a series for X2P, but I don't know if that's still happening at this stage, because it took us.
That's a game
It took us 2 years to record the Spyro 2 X2P, so 2 years to record it and to send it out on YouTube. So if we start recording Simpsons Hit and Run in 2025, then it'll probably be released in 2027 at our going rate. But yeah, no, as I say, Simpsons Hit and Run. No, we've done Road Rage. We did that for Rapid Races, which may or may not be out by this point. As I say, the 3 episodes that we did, but we've not done Hit and Run. So Hit and Run would be really good if we can get Hit and Run on here. I think that'd be quite good.
So.
Yeah,
yeah,
because I would certainly allow that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other games of TV shows. Obviously, Top Gear's a no-brainer.
Unfortunately, there's not many Top Gear games, so
Um,
that's why
no,
we've
I'm
resorted to this sort of environment for timed laps instead of Top Gear
I
Test
mean,
Track.
obviously,
Yeah.
racing games. Obviously, maybe some Need for Speed.
I don't know about Need for
Underground
Speed,
or
as I say, because that's
something.
not based off a TV show, so I can't allow that one.
I don't know. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry, my brain was going off into racing games now.
Not
Sorry.
TV show games, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Doctor Who did it.
Yeah, there's a few Doctor Who games floating
I
around.
don't know.
Yeah.
I never played them. But yeah.
The ones that I played were mixed bag. I seem to remember playing one that was from 1997, and that was okay, sort of. Then there was one on the Wii, which was meh, and then there was one on the DS, which was sort of a prequel to the one on the Wii. It was, again, a bit meh. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see those ones. There are newer Doctor Who games. I think there's one called The Lonely Assassins and one called The Edge of Reality or Edge of Time or something like that. Both of those are supposedly fairly decent. I know Lonely Assassins is very centralised around the Weeping Angels. It's on Steam. I think it's quite cheap from memory on Steam. But yeah, so that's a few games that you'd like to see. So maybe some Simpsons and Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, and there was a I saw it the other day. There was a Futurama game that came out on the PlayStation.
Yes,
2,
there was. We've actually done it on Supercharge.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
Oh,
we did.
nice.
Yeah, it was me
That
and
would be-
me and my partner actually did it. We raced to see who
nice.
could get the most progress in 1 hour. Yeah.
Oh wow, that would be a game I'd love to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's quite
Yeah,
fun. As I say, it reminded me somewhat of Hit and Run in the way it played a little bit in terms of movement.
Yeah, it did look similar to him, Ron.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, we'll move on to the next question. And I've asked this again to everybody, just so people can get to know you a little bit. Give us 5 of your favourite TV shows. Doesn't have to be anything particularly like groundbreaking or award-winning or anything. Just 5 shows that you like, any particular order, just to get to know you, type of thing.
Okay, well, number 1, obviously Doctor Who. That's my nickname.
Fifth Doctor, 5, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Big Doctor Who fan. Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf, love Red Dwarf, yeah.
Love Red Dwarf, Futurama, obviously. Star Trek, big Star Trek fan. X-Files, I like mostly science fiction.
Mostly science fiction, yeah. I'm noticing a pattern here, yeah, is what I was going to say. So,
yeah.
No, as I say, that's a good 5. As I say, I think that's quite good. We've
Yeah.
had a lot of people say a good bunch of shows so far. So there's not been a huge amount of overlap. There's definitely been some Doctor Who in there. I think Red Dwarf may have been mentioned. I can't remember.
I don't think there has ever been a Red Dwarf game as far as I'm aware.
Not as far as I'm aware, no. The only time it's ever appeared in a video game was Lego Dimensions. It was a bonus level in Lego Dimensions.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's based off the... Oh, God, is it Series 10 or Series 11? It's part of the Dave era, so, yeah. You know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, no, that would have been, Series 10.
Somewhere around Series
12,
10,
yeah.
Series 12, yeah. As I say, you can tell I've watched Red Dwarf. I'm a huge fan of Red Dwarf, so...
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, you've got your 5 favourite TV shows, no particular order. We've got your thoughts on what games you'd like to see. So in this particular context, you have been assigned the... basically, when we did the numbers, I think you picked number 5, I think it was. Was number 5, 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which
one. It was me and Chris picked the same number.
That's right. So yeah, as I say, because he picked 5 first, so we gave you number 6.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So you've been given the Jordan as a result. The driver you chose, so you had a choice of the legendary Rubens Barrichello and the somewhat legendary Eddie Irvine, and you went with Eddie Irvine. Any particular reason?
Just because, I I just like the sound of an Irish race car driver. I
Irish
guess, 'cause
race
they've
car
always
driver,
been-
yeah.
You know, they've always been. You know, we got Brits, obviously. Lewis Hamilton is one of the famous. Just sounded cool to me.
It's funny to me because
get-
I'm looking at I remember looking at the menu when you selected him, and it says he's Irish, and I'm like, I'm fairly sure he's Northern Irish. So I don't know. Did people from Northern Ireland get offended if they just get called Irish? I don't know.
Yeah, because you got mainland or
Republic of Ireland, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then you got Northern Ireland, who technically identify as British.
Well,
Yeah.
depends which ones you ask. Some might say yes, some might
Yeah.
say no. Some might be wanting that independence.
According to a map of the British Isles, the top half.
According to the map of the British Isles, at least, it's part of Britain.
Yes,
If you ask them, it might be a different story, and it's the same if you
Yeah.
ask a Scotsman. They might be like, "No, we're not British. We want to be independent." And it might depend on if you ask a Welshman, which most of them don't seem to be really interested in independence. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here waving the flag of Welsh independence. Anyway,
Are you actually Welsh?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you not know that?
I think you might have
Yeah.
mentioned it, but I wasn't sure whether you actually were Welsh.
Yeah. No, Welsh. As I say,
Or
I've
lived in Wales.
lived there, God, how many years? Almost 12 years, and then moved here when I was just before I turned 12. I've lived here now, what are we, 15 years? So, yeah, I've been a New Zealander longer than I've been a Welshman. But,
That's interesting.
yeah, so as I say, I'm technically...
You still retained your Britishness.
Oh, yeah,
You don't
yeah.
sound.
As I say, I
don't
represent
sound-
New Zealand, but I still have retained my sense of, Britishness. Yeah, I suppose is the best way of putting it. Yeah, cool. Well, with that in mind, with all that all said and done, so you've got your driver. We will do your time lap now in just a moment. I want to get a rough estimate from you because, again, try not to look at the clock, as I said before, but rough estimate. How fast do you think you can do it? Because I've had people on before and they've said to me, "Oh, I reckon I can do it in under 2.5 minutes, or a minute 45, or a minute 50." Where do you think you are?
If I could get it within the minute spectrum, let's say, not specifically, that'd be cool. But if I do end up getting round the track in say 2 minutes, then that's
Just the way it is, type
what I
of thing.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not the way it is. Yeah,
absolutely.
but it'd be nice to get it. But because I don't know who did the fastest time, it's hard to know.
Yeah, afraid I can't tell you that until your lap's done. So
No.
I think at this point, the best thing to do is get on with your lap. So let's head on over there now and get that done. All right, here we go. 5 lights coming up now. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5, and away you go. So, just coming around this final corner here, as I said, because it gives you a bit of a rolling start at the marina. Lovely, into that nice corner there, that's good. And now we're on the straight. And the time begins now. Okay, so here we are, coming up to the first corner, up to the hill. Ooh, bit of a bump there, that's fine. But climbing up the hill nicely. Yep. No sign of it sliding yet. Ooh, bit of a bump there.
Yep.
Coming up now to the next corner. Lovely, that's good. Very good. Very nice. There we go.
Thank you.
Now coming
I'm
up.
really concentrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely concentrate. Oop, there we go. Down the casino. There it is on your right, the casino there. Lovely. That's nice. That's very good. Not really a whole lot I can say so far. As I say, haven't had too many issues. And coming up now to the tunnel.
Yep. Well, I'm really concentrating.
Yeah, definitely.
Try not to smash into things.
Yeah, definitely the best policy not to try and smash into things. So coming out of the tunnel now, heading towards the chicane. Oh, that's, yeah, nope. People have taken it like that before, so that's good. Now coming up to the last couple of corners here with the marina. Bit of a bump there, that's alright. There's a swimming pool there on the right, so that's good. Final couple of corners here at the marina. Ooh, ooh. Lovely. Oh, oh, no, he's caught on the wall.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Fine. Fine, I got it.
Oh, and, yeah, coming up now. Final corner here. And across the line. Right. Pause it there. Pause it there. That is good. Alright, so here we are at the lap times board. So, Jade, how well do you think you did? Do you think you did it in that 1 minute or less? Well, less than 2 minutes, I think you were aiming for. So in that 1 minute barrier.
Yeah, kind of close. Trying to go close to about a minute.
Okay. Well, I can officially reveal your time. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Fifth Doctor 5e, Jade. You did it in 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Alright.
Which...
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Unfortunately, though, so far places you in last place of the 9 runners so far.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can reveal the rest of the times to you now, so that because you've done your time. So your closest rival would be Midnight Hart, who did it in 2 minutes 6.
Oh, okay. Only 2 minutes behind.
Yeah, only 2 seconds behind her. Yep. King.
Two, yeah.
Then there's a gap between you both and the next one, which is King of the Pigoos. He did it in 1:50, followed by Rodri on 1:48.
Oh, wow.
My partner Cat, Coyote, 1:45. Gizmo, 1:44. Dreadclaw Dragodon, 1:41. Rexy, 1:41 as well, although Dreadclaw was a 1:41.4, Rexy was a 1:41.1. And then at the top of the board at the moment, I still don't understand how he did this, absolutely blinding lap, is Mr. CJC, your old mate Chris, 1:33.
I wouldn't be surprised because he's a complete F1 nut.
He is an absolute F1 nut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's up there with an insane time at the moment, which I don't think anybody's going to beat at this point. I think he might just have set the fastest time for anybody around this track. But yeah, so you've done your lap. How are you feeling now that you've done that? Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best lap I did.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think I mean, of course, it would have been nicer to get around the corners faster, but, you know, I tried to get around there as fast as I could. And I didn't, I bumped it a little bit, but I didn't drift out or smash into anything specifically. So I think I handled it quite well.
Yeah, no, as I say, you've done quite well. As I say, and at the moment, yes, it's the slowest time, but there's still 4 more people to go, and that may change. You might not even have the slowest time overall. There might be someone who might yet still post like a 2.5 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes. We hope not. But yeah, as I say, we hope somebody doesn't post 3 minutes, because it'd be, oh dear, that's not very good.
It depends how much they spin out or crash.
Yeah, absolutely. But so at this stage, you have got, unfortunately, the slowest time. But you've had fun. You've enjoyed yourself. We had a bit of a laugh.
Honestly, my intention wasn't to beat everyone. It was just to set a lap and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the best attitude for it, is just to come in, have a good time, have a bit of a laugh, set the time that you can do, your best time that you can do. But yeah, so no, thank you for that. And yeah, we'll see how the other 4 come after you, how they do. But until then, thank you very much for playing, and hopefully we'll see you advance to the next round, as I say, depending on how well the remaining 4, including myself, do. So thank you very much. Alright, so we are back now with guest number 10. Yes, number 10. We're almost all the way through the list of entrants. This person who is joining me is... How best do I describe this? He has previously only been in one Square Rally event before now, that being the 1999. He made it as far as the semi-finals, I believe it was, so the semi-final triple charge, where he was eventually knocked out in the losers melee, as it was, or second chance triple charge. It was knocked out by me, actually, so this actually is quite interesting. And he's also been he at the time of this airing, or at least being recorded, is the one half of the Square to Charge tag team controller holders, alongside one Mr. Gizmo Cat. Ladies and gentlemen, Skater. Hello, Skater.
Hello, everyone.
So
it's great to be here as always.
Absolutely. So,
and yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I believe it was
the second chance. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
because you faced Roger in the quarterfinal. You did. I think it was Twisted Metal 3, was it, or Twisted Metal 4?
Twisted Metal 4. Yeah.
And then you beat him, and then
technically I was out twice, and then we did the triple.
You did that, and then as I said, that was Bugs Bunny Lost in Time between you, me, and Janny. I can't remember who was second and third between you and Janny, but yeah. So, quick couple of questions before we go into this. So, first of all, just so people obviously will be aware by now of the way that things go, you've done your practice laps. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few moments. But first of all, I've kind of asked this to everybody so far who's come into this event. What do you feel like your chances are, of doing well? Do you think you'll do well at this particular event? Do you think you could maybe get another, semi-final appearance, perhaps?
That would definitely be real nice. I'm not sure. It's this is unknown for. Well, I think it's an unknown for all of us with the TV takeover, but it's definitely going to be fun. I can guarantee that.
Absolutely.
Because there's already a bunch of good ideas floating around on what to do.
Oh, there's so many already. I mean, as I say, I've been bombarded with ideas from Rexy already in terms of I want to play this and I want to play this, and I'm like, well, hang on a minute. You have to find out first of all who's in your group. Second of all, have they agreed to it? So
yeah, exactly. But I've been seeing all those ideas float around, and they're all good. And I got some of my own also. But as you were just saying, I've seen that there's kind of been like an overwhelming of ideas. So I'm like, oh well, I'll wait on mine until we get closer to it.
I mean, at this point as well, because we're recording this after my reveal of there being a 13th entrant, so it's also highly dependent on people actually qualifying for the event. That's the big thing right there.
That too, exactly.
Yeah. So, with that in mind,
but I would definitely like to get I would definitely like to get far in the event, just because that'll open up the door for more fun and more things to do.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's going to be a fun time regardless. So even if I don't get that far, it'll be all right. So I'm just looking forward to it either way.
No, perfect. And again, this is the question I've asked everybody so far, at least everybody for this question, at least anyway, is how. So not how. If you had the chance to just dictate what game would be played in any of the rounds, say round 1, for example, you're going to be paired up with 2 other people. You'll all be playing the same game, but you get to choose the game, say, for example, and it's based off, a TV show, game based off a TV show. What game would you like to see in the event if you had the choice yourself? If there's any that come to mind.
There's several. I guess just for now, there's some other ones that I've been kind of toying around with, but I'm kind of see thinking if they would be practical or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess the go-to, as you mentioned it earlier, Twisted Metal's a TV show now, so that's one I wouldn't mind.
Yes, that one actually technically wouldn't count, unfortunately, because it's already a game before it was a TV show. So it's the same for Pokemon. We had to cut that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so what would? So it has to be a show before a game.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
It can be based off something else. So I know somebody mentioned to me, what about a book that later became this TV show that later became a game? And I'm like, I'd allow that.
I got one. It's another racing game. Like there's a Speed Racer game that came out on PS1.
Yeah, Speed Racer works. That's absolutely viable.
That
as long as it's not
nice
based off the film, that's the thing. If it's based
no,
off the show.
It's based off the 60s.
Oh, even better. Yeah, absolutely.
And I used to play that game a lot as a kid. It's also more of an arcade racing style kind of game like this.
Interesting.
There's also I think there's even a Genesis version of it too.
Oh, okay. Ooh, we might see that.
So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So another question I've asked everybody so far, just generally, just so people get to know you a little bit. What would you say are, in no particular order, 5 of your favourite TV shows ever? Doesn't have to be anything, groundbreaking. Doesn't have to be, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. You can have those if you like them, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's favorite TV shows ever. Okay, well, honestly, I'd have to say number 1 would be original England Top Gear, just because I always would love chilling with those shows all the time.
Oh yeah,
like it's such a vibe with those shows. And then I second would have to be Grand Tour, just right after that.
Yeah,
because those were good too.
I've not actually watched much of the Grand Tour myself. I've got Amazon Prime and I keep meaning to go around and watch it.
I need to finish watch. I haven't, to be honest with you, I need to finish watching the last season of it and the specials, but it's really it's hurting me too, because I'm like, once I finish watching those, that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I held off a little bit, especially now knowing that we've reached the end. Whereas I have dived headfirst into Clarkson's Farm, on the other hand, because that's actually quite entertaining.
Oh man, but yeah. Third one, the Batman animated shows and Justice League shows and stuff like that. I think all of those can kind of fall under the same kind of umbrella.
Yeah,
because there were 3 or 4 of those branching off and beyond too.
Yeah, as I say, because it was what was it, Batman the animated series? Then there was the one that came after. It was Batman the New Adventures, and then
they did the Superman series for a while. Also, that was kind of.
And then there was Batman Beyond, because that's my favourite Batman.
Yeah.
And then they did Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, I think, was the last one, wasn't it?
Unlimited, yeah. Unlimited was the very last one, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number 3. And like I said, I think all those can kind of just go together.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What would be 4? I guess recently, 4 would be the Fallout show that they just recently did on Amazon.
Yeah.
That was so good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I still rewatch it. I've rewatched the whole thing even 5 times already.
I only know one other person who's watched it, and she said it was quite good. So it's one of those ones that's on my list of I'll check that eventually, even though I've never actually played a single Fallout game. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is another one that we wouldn't be allowed to do because, of course, game before TV shows. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then you mentioned it earlier, and it is so good. I would have to put 5 with Breaking Bad and also Call Saul, kind of the same thing. So I was so addicted to that show. It's not even funny. Steph too. Well, Steph actually got me into it. I didn't think I heard it was good, and I saw a lot of the moments on stuff. But man, it was definitely one of those where I binged it practically a week.
I never got round to Better Call Saul because I only watched, I think it was up to the 2nd season of Breaking Bad, and it's not that I gave up on it, I just was doing other things at the time because I was in high school, and it was I'd heard so much about Breaking Bad, and it was one of those shows that I was right, I watched that, and I started binging it, and then I think I just stopped for some particular reason. I think I had high school exams at the time, and I've just never revisited it. And here we are, like 10 years after I left high school, basically. So, yeah, it's one of those ones that I need to get back to. But yeah,
it's definitely a close fifth for me, because also like it's Doctor Who kind of just misses out.
Yeah.
On, like, being a top 5.
I mean, to be fair, we've had a few people in here already mention Doctor Who, so to have somebody actually mention Breaking Bad, Grand Tour's not been mentioned yet. I think Top Gear has. What else do we have? Fallout? No, that's not been mentioned at all. And then Batman, not at all been mentioned. So yeah, as I say, we good mix in there of ones that we have seen already and ones that we haven't already seen. So, in terms of the lap, as I say, which we'll do shortly, you were assigned the number 13, or chose the number 13, I think it was, whichever it was, and you ended
which is a pretty sexy paint job on it.
I was going to say, it's a very cool paint job, the Simtek. You've got the Simtek, arguably, in my opinion at least anyway, the coolest livery on the grid. It's based off a car that was absolutely god-awful, only lasted, I think it was 5 races into 95 before they went bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a bit of a factor in there.
They put all the money into the livery design.
Put all the money into the livery design. Yeah, getting that MTV sponsorship probably wasn't, cheap.
Either, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they also used to fly out one of the MTV VJs to come out and record stuff at each race. So unless MTV paid for it, which who knows, they might have done. But yeah, so you've got the Simtek. You chose for your driver, I think it was Jos Verstappen, wasn't it?
Max Verstappen's daddy.
Max Verstappen's daddy. Was that the reasoning behind it? You saw Verstappen, you're like, yep, Max.
I saw Verstappen, and it didn't even register with me right away that it was Jos Verstappen. I just saw Verstappen. I thought it was Max, but I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that was not Max Verstappen at this point in the '90s. No.
Well, no, I was just saying, because as we sit here in 2025, that's a full 30 years beforehand. So.
Yeah,
and Max is the same age as me, so I somehow don't think he was driving that year.
No, of course. Well, no. When was he? No, he was definitely born. I don't even know if he was old enough to do go-karts yet.
Oh, well, Verstappen?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't even born at that point. He wasn't born
until
97. Yeah, same year as me.
Oh, wow. I thought he was born early 90s. Okay.
No, he's only be 28 this year, so yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
Youngest world champion in F1 history, so.
I'm older than Max Verstappen. Damn.
Yeah.
But, well, also speaking of Max Verstappen, it tripped me out when I was scrolling through the cars right now. I realized Red Bull's in there. I didn't even remember Red Bull racing in the 90s, so that kind of I was
they didn't race under the Red Bull thing. They were primarily a sponsorship for Sauber in the 90s and the early 2000s, and I think they stayed as a sponsorship all the way up to, I think it was about 2004 that they stayed sponsoring Sauber, and then they bought out... And then they
became teams after that?
Yeah, because they bought out Jaguar in 2005, so yeah.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, so they came from Jaguar, which itself was bought out from Stewart, because that was Jackie Stewart's team, which was completely new in 97. So they've bought Jaguar, I think it was £1 that they bought Jaguar for, and...
Oh my god.
Yeah, the licensing for the team and everything. And look what they've done ever since. One of the most dominant teams in F1 history, so...
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And just across motorsports in general, too.
Oh, absolutely. So, with that all in mind, we'll go and do the lap now in just a few moments. But one last quick question for you. In terms of how quickly you think you can get around the course. So, we've had people estimate they can do it better than 2.5 minutes, than 2 minutes, than 1 minute 45. How quickly do you think you can get around? Rough estimate.
I don't know. I'm trying to... Let me relook at... What was even my time there? 1:30.5, I think? I don't... I should be able to... A minute and a half mark, I'd say, would be a safe call. Maybe a little more.
Okay.
if I nail every corner, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, as I say, we'll see, because we've had a fair few people in now, because like I said, you're the 10th one in. There's been, I'll put it this way, I won't say the times right now because we'll keep you in suspense, but
Yeah.
the majority of them are fairly close in around a certain time. Like I think it's like 7 or 8 people are only split by 10 seconds between all of them. It's quite close. So yeah,
that's when you know it's good though. Is when it's close like that. So.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Well, with that in mind,
let's see how the last one being me goes. If I can throw a monkey wrench in the hole.
Well, as I say, there's still 2 more, actually 3 more after you, because there's still Connor.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the last one.
Yeah, and there's also I haven't done my lap yet either at the time of recording this. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, as I say, we'll dive into the lap. So we'll jump on over there now. Right. So this is your 1 shot, 1 lap. Here we go. So
oh man, it's tricky going for that corner straight from the. Oh no! Straight from the dig.
It's all right. You haven't started the timer yet, so it's all good. No, it is a tricky corner, like you said. That one. It's caught out many people.
Just straight from the dead stop, it's difficult.
Yeah, especially because I don't know if it's actually. I mean, I don't know because it's 1996 game. I don't know if it's supposed to be simulating what it'd be like, on cold tires where you don't actually have a tremendous amount of traction. But stranger things have been coded into games earlier than this, so.
It did feel like it. It did feel like it a little bit because it didn't want to stop.
Yeah,
the tires were slidey a bit.
Cool. Just coming down the bend now from Casino. That's nice. Very good line. And into the tunnel. Hear that roar through the tunnel. I love that sound effect. You pointed it out earlier on in practice, and it's like, yeah, I love how it echoes even for a 96 game. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be the Monaco tunnel without the sound, would it?
No, absolutely not. That is a lovely way to take the chicane. Bit of a bump there, but that is fine. Coming down to the marina now. Past the section where the swimming pool is. There we go. Lovely. Last part of the marina. Coming back up to where you did the rolling start. Last corner. Nice. Didn't bump it there. Very good. Oh, very close there, but very nice line. Oh, this could be quite a good time now. And across the line. Right, if you want to pop it there and put it on pause.
Wow.
Right, so, Skater. You've done your lap.
Yep.
Do you reckon you did it faster than you did in your practice?
I don't know. I want to say I did, but if I did, just barely. It got off to a rough start, and it really felt sketchy. It didn't feel as good as my last practice lap, so I guess let's see.
I can tell you, your last practice lap, you did that, and I think you said it during the interview, was a 1:30. So, your time here, Skater, is a 1:20.
Oh.
7.6, which means, Skater, you are, and I can't believe I get to say this now. I thought I wasn't going to be able to say this. You are the fastest person on the board.
Oh wow!
You have,
and I got 3 seconds over my last practice lap. What's
3 seconds over your last practice lap, but I'll tell you the other time so that you can just truly. What's the word I'm looking for? Really breathe it in. So currently in last place we have Fifth Doctor 5e, who set a time of 2 minutes 8, followed by Midnight Hart 2 minutes 6, and then we jump up to that middle section that I told you about, where there's about I said it was 7 or 8 people. Turns out it's only 6. So King of the Piggers 150, Bobbledick 148. Coyote 145, Gizmo 144, Dreadclaw 141.4, and then Rexy 141.1, and then the leader, at least until you overtook him, was CJC 133, and now you've eclipsed him with 127.
Oh wow!
So
the 133 is real close because that's just 3 seconds. I was only 3 seconds faster with my practice lap with my last practice lap. I think.
Yeah. So that is a phenomenal lap. So you thought you scuffed that lap. I mean, you bumped the wall before the timer began, but hey, maybe it was a good omen. I don't know.
maybe it set me up better for the very first kind of like the long bend there, because, well, I don't know. I don't know if I was actually going lower speed or not. It didn't really feel like it, but I should have been, because, well, I just completely scuffed it on the wall there right at the beginning of the front straightaway. So.
Yeah, no, but absolutely.
But wow, that really shocks me that it was faster, because it didn't feel as good as my last practice lap for sure, but it was 3 seconds faster somehow, and 5 seconds faster than the fastest time so far. So that's pretty cool. I did not expect that at all.
I was not expecting a time a whole 5 seconds faster, like 3 seconds maybe 2. I thought was on pace, with the practice run, but then to see you pull that out 5 seconds faster is phenomenal. So, very well done. You're top of the leaderboard for now. As I say, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to pip that at 127. That is nuts. We've still got, like I said, Connor, Sophia to come, and myself. I don't know if anybody else is going to be able to do that.
Well, Connor is really good at games and stuff. So
yeah.
So there's several really good people coming up. I met you're good at racing too. So I think that's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be good to see regardless.
I mean, I'm sitting here like, 133, I might be able to do. I'm sitting there looking at 127 like, I'm not so sure about that one. We'll find out. I mean, I've played Monaco on more recent Formula 1 games, but not the older stuff, so we'll find out how well it translates to my driving on a game of 30 years almost.
I gotta say, it feels really good on this game. It really surprised me how good it felt good and was fun. Like it didn't feel like too real, except maybe like pointed at, like at the start, maybe there is like some tire simulation going on, because man, I just pancaked the damn thing. I didn't want to slow down.
No, you did well though. So, but yeah, as I say,
this was awesome. I actually want to play more of this game.
Yeah, feel free. Now that you've done the lap time, you can do as much as you want, because as I say, you won't be seeing this again for the rest of the events. As I say, because we got a clause in no repeat games whatsoever. So this is Formula 1 for you, over and done. So feel free to go around, check out the other courses. Yeah, as I say, because there's some in here that aren't in other games. I think there's like Estoril, Ida. There's a couple of other ones. I think there's the God, what's it called? Argentinian ones in here as well somewhere. I could be wrong. So maybe, there's a few in here that no longer really pop up in the modern games. So yeah, feel free to check them out.
When we were scrolling by the tracks earlier, I saw that the Nürburgring's in there, but not the Nordschleife like.
No, afraid not. There is actually a bonus track hidden away somewhere. I think if you complete the championship, I can't remember what it is, but it's like a bonus track. So maybe it is the Nordschleife. I'd have to look up, see what it was. But yeah,
I'm just kind of wondering if it was even in the cards for rendering back then. I'm trying to remember if the very first Gran Turismo had the full Nordschleife also or not.
No, I don't think the Nordschleife came until 4, I think.
Okay, it might not have been possible to render that whole freaking mountain pass basically in the PS1. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for doing your lap, and thank you for joining us. You are definitely qualified for this event, so we'll see you in round 1.
Well, thank you for having me. I guess I missed my call, and it was Formula 1. No, there's no way. I don't have the actual reflexes for that. I mean, I did race in real life before, but Formula 1 is a whole nother bag. You need to have reflexes faster than 2 cats put together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For that, so.
But yeah,
but yeah, thank you. This was just great fun. Just the qualifying thing was fantastic. So definitely looking forward to the rest of TV Takeover with you all for sure.
All right, here we are now with guest number 11. 11, man. We are really getting through here. He is, of course, the only Irishman on the field today. He is... God, what were you in the 1999? You were second place, I think it was, in the 99.
I was second place. Yep.
Yep, second place in 99, and then you did Pixar Panic, and I don't know if you made it out of round 1 for that one. You made it to triple.
Unfortunately not. I was in a wee triple charge with TK, Antonio Curtis. And we had
a bit of a rough.
Dragon was in our group too.
Yeah, a bit of a rough bout there, as I say, being paired up with those two. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Connor David, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How is it going today? What is the crack, as we say here?
Oh, I love that you've said what's the crack. That I was sitting there going, I was half tempted to say it to you, but I was like, no, you've said it for me. That's even better.
There we go.
So you've had your 3 practice laps. How do you think you went around there? Do you feel comfortable with the track somewhat?
Yeah, there's a lot of barriers now, I have to say. Like, lots of barriers, really. I've noticed, like, the scenery though is lovely, I have to say. Like, it's a nice scenic track though, but after a bit of practice you get a good feel for it. I feel like I know the controls now, so like whatever happens, I think I'm comfortable enough with the track I have, and I think it'll be good no matter what happens.
Absolutely. So we'll touch a bit more upon about the qualification in just a moment, but just a couple of questions so the people at home can get to know you a bit better.
Yeah.
So first of all, if you had the choice, say you make it through qualifying, you make it into the event, if you had the choice, if somebody said to you, right, you get to pick the game, only you get to pick the game for like round 1 with your 2 opponents, what is the one game that you would want to play that's like based off a television show, if you have any that come to mind?
Well, some of this might be a surprise to some people, like, but one game I actually loved playing on my PC in my cousin's house, the one that actually I had to leave because I got engaged in our first ever race. Actually, we did on Square to Charge. We played this one game. It was Buzz Lightyear of Star Commands. It was on the PC, and we used to always sit there and play it because we loved kind of the chasing element of that game. We have to catch the enemies.
Yeah.
So it always brings back good memories, and I love seeing it pop up every now and then. So if I had to choose one game, I'd have to go for Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Cool. And as I say, that is actually one that we would allow because, of course, it is based off TV show. I think there was a TV movie that came before it as sort of like a pilot, I think. Vaguely. Yeah. But yes, Toy Story 2, not allowed. Buzz Lightyear Star Command, very much. That's fine. Yeah. So that's no problem. And just another question that I've asked everybody so far is basically, in no particular order, if you had to give me 5 of your favourite TV shows of all time, doesn't have to be anything particularly groundbreaking, doesn't have to be anything, highly rated on IMDb, just 5 of your favourite TV shows, no particular order.
Oh, yeah. Now, I try to watch a lot of different TV to kind of, like, obviously have different tastes, like, in different sections. So, I mean, drama-wise, Breaking Bad, loved it when I was younger. Bryan Cranston, just the whole story is fantastic. So there's a good drama program. Like a bit of a retro throwback when I was younger. The In-Betweeners, loved it. Like, just 4 idiots just on TV was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then just for a more comedy purposes, the IT Crowd, good old Chris O'Dowd in it, Richard Alliday.
Yeah.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it on and off again?
What's that line, Matt Berry? Father!
Can't go wrong. And then there's one show I finished currently watching actually recently. It was Never Have I Ever. Like nice simple show to watch. Not overly long. I like kind of shows. I kind of like shows that like at half an hour sort of thing. So it's atypical, kind of close to my heart, like based on the main character has autism, so always love that program. And then the last one I go old class again, Friends. Can't go wrong with Friends.
No, absolutely. As I say, Friends and Breaking Bad, those are definitely ones that have been mentioned before. IT Crowd in between us, definitely have not been mentioned before, so nice to see those mentioned. And what was the other one you mentioned? Sorry, it was
Atypical.
Atypical. I don't think I know that one. Yeah, I'll have to look into that later on.
Oh, it's really good. I'd recommend it big time.
So, with that all out of the way, as I say, we've got you set up in the green Minardi, the green and black Minardi.
Good forward car.
If you were to roughly estimate how quickly do you think you could get around the track time-wise? Doesn't have to be exact figure. We've had estimates so far. People have said to me, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 45, maybe under 2 minutes. I think somebody said to me under 1:45, which I thought was a really good challenge towards whoever that was. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but any particular time that you reckon, estimate-wise, that you could do it in?
Hope if I got under 220, I think
Under
I'd be doing it.
220.
I'd be happy. Yeah, I'd be happy enough, given the barriers and everything. If I got under 220, I'd be like, yeah, that's good.
Okay, under 220. Well, with that in mind, I think now it's a good time as any to move back to the game, and we'll get your timed lap in. So best of luck.
Let's go.
Your 1 lap quali. Let's see how we go.
Let's see. Can I do it? Oh,
Can we do it better than 220 is the magic number you were thinking about?
yeah. Hopefully, that's the idea. Into third, into fourth, into fifth.
There we go. And time starts there. Oh, lovely into the wall there, but it's actually giving you nice positioning, that.
Oh yeah, that's actually worked
It
out
rebounded you, just sort of tilted you, like turned you to the left, like, yeah, that'll do that nicely, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for putting me there. Oh, no, I'll go to second.
Yeah,
I think.
that's probably the better way, actually, to be honest. But
Yeah.
that's...
Jeez, my luck's in so far, maybe.
Indeed. Good bit of a bump there, just passing the casino now. Lovely.
No gambling today.
No gambling today, no.
There we go.
And coming up to the tunnel now, very nice. Full speed through the tunnel. What do they call it? Full send, I think it is.
Full send ahead.
That's the one. Coming up to that really nasty chicane now. Oh, that's lovely. Good bit of an impact into the chicane, but hey, I've seen people do it worse, so that's not a problem at all.
Woo.
As I say, it's got the makings
God,
of
what
a...
scenery.
As I say, it's got the makings of a possibly good lap here, but yeah, good scenery around here, past the marina. Coming past the swimming pool there.
No swimming today. We won't be diving.
No diving, no fishing off the boats, no partying on the boats here at Monaco today.
Aww.
Oh, coming
Maybe
up to the
after
last
the lap.
few corners now. After the lap, yeah, for sure. There we go. Last part now. Full send. And across the line. All right.
I'd say in top gear. There we go.
All right. Pause it there. Pause it there. Time screen. So we'll start recording here. Okay, Connor. So you've done your lap. Do you reckon, first of all, you set yourself a time of 2 minutes 20 to get round faster than 220? Do you reckon you've done it faster than 220?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I may have just done it or close to it anyway.
Well, I can reveal to you now that your lap time is Connor David.
Oh.
1
Oh.
50 8.9, which means, Connor, you are presently... Gosh, what position is that? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh. I'm in the top 12. I'm happy with that so far anyway.
Yeah, you are presently in 9th place. So you have qualified for the event.
Nice.
So I'll read you the rest of the times, just for if you're curious. So the fastest person round our board was Skater with a 1:27.
Oh, nice.
Then CJC with a 1:33.
Ooh.
Then Rexy with a 1:41.1.
Ooh.
Then Dreadclaw with a 1:41.4.
Nice.
Followed by Gizmo with a 1:44.
Very good.
Cat with a 145.
Nice.
Rodri with a 148.
Woohoo.
And then King of the Pigoose with a 150. So they're all the ones that are split by like 10 seconds between them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you with a 158. Following you and just making it into qualifying is Hannah, Midnight Heart, 206.
Nice.
And presently in the danger zone still is Fifth Doctor 5e with a 208.
Oh, so we'll see now. But I got the 1 minute mark. I'm happy to get the one in the 1 minute category. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, as I say, you did work very well to get within the 1 minute mark. As I say, you didn't get the 2. Like you said, you were aiming for under 220, and I'll be honest, when you set that expectation, I thought you were being a bit generous there myself. I thought, no, he'll go faster than that, and you did. 1 minute 58. As I say, it's a solid time. It's very good. You're still under 2 minutes, which it is, the case for everybody except obviously Hannah and Jade so far. But yeah, Jade still presently in the danger zone. There's still 2 more laps to be done, and that's Sophia, who will be coming up next. And then lastly, my lap, which will be hosted by Rodri. But anything you'd like to remark before we let you go?
I would like to make the point that I do not drive manual, and these cars are manual, so I would definitely gone faster in automatic.
Formula One cars, yes, famously manual rather than automatic. Although it's funny because in the game the gears shift for you, so it's automatic manual. So I'm like, wait, what?
Into second, into third,
into second.
Fourth.
Yeah, as Murray Walker was going on about, yeah. But no, thank you for that, and thank you for doing your lap. As I say, it's been great to have you in, and you have definitely qualified for the remainder of the event. So we will see you in round 1.
Oh, thank you so much. And to make reference to Buzz Lightyear Star Command, to infinity and beyond.
Okay, so here we are with guest number 12. Yes, 12. We're almost at the end of this qualifying run. Now, my guest here has not really had a huge amount of stuff done on the channel. They've been in one match so far, which was a Spyro 1 tag team end-of-year hunt. I believe you paired up with... Was it Garion, I think it was, that you paired up with?
2 different people.
Oh, was it 2 different people? Oh.
Yeah, I was replacement for Hannah.
That's right. Yes, technical issues. Yes, you ended up pairing up with Rexy as well.
I forget his name, but anyway, I was with a guy and Rexy. I forget the other guy's name.
I think it was Garion. Yeah, because
I think it was Garion.
I'm fairly sure it was Garion. Yes. So no, this is Sophia. Everybody, Radiant. Hello.
Hello.
So, here you are. You are the last of the people that's not me to do a lap. At this present moment, you've had 3 laps around the course. How confident are you feeling about, finding your way round?
I think I'll do all right.
Okay.
It's not my first time doing a racing game, thank goodness.
I would like to hope not, as I say, because otherwise people be like, well, you've signed up for this and you've sort of joined in for Formula 1 qualifying. Well, if you don't know how to do that, you're sort of stuffed.
Well, I mean, when I was younger, we used to have this game. I don't even remember what they were called. It was like these bobblehead type dudes that was a racing game. I was horrible at it. I kept running into the wall or getting in the water.
Bobblehead racing. I don't know what that is, but I have to check it out.
It's some American thing that they don't even make anymore.
Oh, okay. So, with that in mind, we'll run through a quick couple of questions so that people get to know you a bit better. So, first of all, if you were to qualify, is there say you got given the option, say I turn around to you and say, hey, Sophia, round 1, there's 2 people facing you. You get to choose what game you want to play, so long as it's a game based off of a TV show. What would you want to play if you've got any games that come to mind?
Tak, because that became a TV show after they made the game.
Is that Tak and the Power of Juju?
Yes.
So that wouldn't actually count if it became a TV show after the game. Unfortunately.
dang.
Yeah. We've had that issue because somebody said to me, oh, what about Fallout? And I'm like, no, that wouldn't count. What about Pokemon?
Okay.
Wouldn't count, unfortunately.
Okay, so I do know a game, but nobody else is going to know it because I'm the only one who's going to be able to play it.
Okay.
It's called Inuyasha, Secret of the Cursed Mask. It was a TV show before it became a video game. They've got several video games, but that's the game that I played so much, I could recite the dialogue word for word.
Is that based off a manga, Inuyasha?
Anime.
Sorry, not manga.
Anime.
Well, it's probably a manga at some point.
It is a manga, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm vaguely familiar with the name, yeah. As I say,
it's a very good game. It's a very long game, though.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure if that one will happen on the channel, but we'll see. It depends on...
Well, probably not.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Indeed.
Fingers crossed. Although if I had my choice, I would just play a Spyro game.
Yeah, I'm afraid we can't do that here. That's kind of the thing.
I'm afraid we can't.
No, not even Skylanders, even though that was a TV show. No, it was a game first.
It was a game first.
Yeah, so can't do that one. So, with that in mind...
No.
Hmm?
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry.
I don't know very many games that were TV shows first, so I'm kind of out of luck.
No, that's fine. I've just noticed your dog's just come into the room there, or has been there the whole time, just seemingly digging at your bed. I just saw it in the background.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He is a very good boy.
And I'm betting he's wanting me to let him outside.
It's all right. We'll let him outside in just a few moments. So, next question I've got for you, and I've asked this for everybody, and doesn't have to be in any particular order, doesn't have to be anything particularly groundbreaking, critically award-winning or anything, but just give me 5 of your favourite TV shows. No particular order, doesn't have to be anything amazing, just anything that you liked, either growing up or like watching now. Just 5 TV shows.
5 TV shows. Ooh. Okay. I enjoy My Little Pony a lot.
Okay.
That's my favorite. I didn't get to watch it growing up, but I liked Pokemon when I was young.
Sure.
I definitely obviously liked Inuyasha, even though it was definitely not a kid's show. I loved to watch Naruto when I was young.
Sorry, you like to watch what was the what did you say?
Naruto.
Oh,
it's
Naruto.
Another anime.
Yeah.
It's another anime.
I thought you said something else for a second. I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
Listen, we grew up in a family full of people watching anime. So, I don't know, because when we watched TV, I was watching SpongeBob, or Digimon, or Yu-Gi-Oh, or... Oh my god, there's a show you might reminisce about, Beyblade.
Beyblade. I vaguely remember the Beyblade show.
It's
not one that leaps to my mind like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh particularly more so because I did a rewatch of that like a couple of years ago. So, yeah.
Anyway, those would be my options.
Fair enough. There's a good bunch of shows in there. I don't think many of those have been mentioned. I think Pokemon might have been mentioned. I think My Little Pony definitely hasn't been mentioned, so that's a good shout.
No, that's my how shall I say obsession.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, we've all got our obsessions. I mean, I've got.
You can see it in the background. I've got a pony back there.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've got a pony right here. I'm telling you, I am a pony person.
I mean, hey, look, I've no judgment from me. I mean, I'm a Lego person, I've got Marvel stuff back there. I don't know if you can see it at the corner up there. There's Lego Sonic up there at the top. There's a Death Egg Robo in the corner, yeah. So, no judgment here from me. But yeah, so that's a couple of TV shows for people to get to know you. Oh, I tell you what, even better, if I just quickly move this. I've just realised there's another Lego set sitting right here. I could actually show off. Hang on. It's and it's appropriate for this. It's a Lego Formula 1 car.
Hey.
I just thought it was quite appropriate to show that off. So there you go. But yes. So that's a few shows to get to know you. So you are in the blue Pacific car, Ford. Yes. As I say, you were excited by that because your dad used to work for Ford.
Oh yeah.
So with that in mind, one of the questions I've asked people, I don't know if I've asked it the whole way through, but it's one of the questions that I've asked a lot of the more recent ones that we've recorded. Basically, how quickly, if you were to give a rough estimate, do you think you could get around the track? I've had people say, oh, I'd like to do it under 2.5 minutes. I'd like to do it under 2 minutes 20. I'd like to do it under 2 minutes. I've even had somebody who said they wanted to do it under 1:45, which I think they accomplished. So
That's scary.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably a minute to 30, between a minute 30 and 2 minutes. I think that would be fair to do that, because that's not the best track in the world, but I've had worse. I've had it where I've had to slide the tires to the point I have to almost get off the track and then get back on it.
Yeah. No, I
I've
know.
had to do that with certain games.
I know people are either hit or miss with Monaco. And the reason I picked it was because I thought, well, it's not one you can just go speeding around. You need to have a bit of strategy in terms of where to brake and where to turn, because you've got to be very particular. If you want the best time for it, you really have to be very particular, and you have to be very quite good on the late braking as well, because otherwise you'll end up in the wall, as many people have so far. So, to say, if you end up in a wall, don't worry, many people have done it already. So, with that in mind, I think now is probably a good time as any to get this lap underway. So, shall we go over to the game and get that recorded? Time lap starting, well, not starting quite yet because you have your rolling start, so because the time will start when you go across the line. But yeah, just try and build up as much speed as you possibly can. Lovely. Nice cornering. Very good. Right, here we go. Reaching the starting line now. You can see it coming up. There we go, and away we go. Right, here we go. First corner. Ooh, and into the runoff. Well, you quickly reversed it. That was good, actually. It's like you knew you weren't supposed to go down there. It's like you quickly pulled it back. That's great. Lovely. Up the hill.
Yes, I did.
Very good. Coming up now to this interesting little bit. Will you go down there? No, you've carried straight on. That's good. Lovely. Very good. Now coming up to the next
to avoid
corner.
The pit stop. I want to avoid the pit stop.
Absolutely. Right past the casino, as Connor said to me last night. No gambling. No gambling.
They might think I'm a kid even if I tried to enter the place.
To be fair, I don't think any of us are rich enough to enter a Monaco casino.
Well, when you have dwarfism, Kiwi.
Yeah, that's true.
They kind of go, "Are you a child?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh, well, there's the chicane. Oh. And he spun off. Oh, no.
I didn't know it could do that.
It can do that, but it's okay. You've recovered. It's fine. Don't worry.
I got it. I got it.
You've pulled it back. Here we go. Keep going. You're going really well here. Last couple of corners up past the marina. There's the bit with the swimming pool. Lovely. Now just the last part of the marina. You are coming up right towards the end, so you're doing very well. Last few corners. Remembering, of course. There we go. Not in the pit at all. Oh, bumped it.
Come on. Turn, you stupid thing.
Into the wall, but is the time going to be generous? We'll find out. And across the line. Okay, pause it there. All right, here we are, back at the lap time board one more time. So, Radiant, where do you think you came? Do you think you managed to get it under the 2 minutes like you thought you would?
Think so.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that your time was 2. So it's 2 minutes. And 6 seconds. 0.0. So, if we pop your label on the board in front of me, you are Well, would you like to have a guess, seeing as you can't actually see the board, where you think you are? We've had 11 people do the run. Where do you think you are? So 12 people do the run.
I'm gonna guess about 3rd or 4th place.
You are, unfortunately, not 3rd or 4th place. You are, by my calculations, 10th place. Which means, yeah, as I say, not too bad. You've qualified, absolutely qualified. So don't think there's any shame in that at all, because you have certainly qualified. So I'll tell you the other times. So below you is 5th Doctor 5e with 2:08. And then you just pipped Hannah, Midnight, because she had a 2:06 as well. She was a 2:06.1. You're a 2:06.0. So you actually went just a 10th faster than Hannah. Above you is Connor with a 1:58. Then King of the Piggers with a 1:50. Rodri Bobbledick with a 1:48. Caitlin with a 1:45. Gizmo with a 1:44. Dreadclaw with a 1:41.4. Rexy with a 1:41.1. Our former leader then was CJC with a 1:33. And then the fastest time, I don't think anybody's going to beat this now, because, I mean, it's only me left at this point, is Skater with a 1:27.6. Like, man went round that amazingly quick. But yeah, so you are in 10th place. You are officially qualified for the event. How do you feel?
I feel wonderful. I'm surprised I qualified.
I honestly, I remember predicting who I thought was going to qualify, and the only one I was not sure of was you. I was sitting there going, she could either do this really well, really badly, she might be somewhere in the middle, and I was sort of thinking, I think she might be somewhere in the middle, and I wasn't too far off. You're towards the lower end, but you're not in last. That is the main point. You're not even last but one. You're last but two, which is even better. So there you go. You are officially qualified for the event. So, anything you'd like to remark before I let you go?
Thank you for letting me do this. I've never done anything like this where I raced other people, so this is very interesting.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you, you are qualified for round one, so we will see you in the group stage for round one, where you'll meet two other people for your first match, or what we hope is your first match if you can get out of round one. But yeah, we'll see you in round one.
Okay, he is the creator and host of Television Takeover. He is the showrunner of our flagship series Supercharge. He has won both the S2C Crystal Dragon and Golden Egg trophies, one of them with me. Just thought I'd throw that in there. He was one half of the inaugural S2C Tag Team Controller holders alongside myself. Again, just getting that out there for those who are unsure. And he is the current reigning S2C Casual Competition Controller holder, looking to defend his crown as part of this record-setting second run with the controller, the Kiwi Dragon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. That was a wonderful introduction you've done there. As I say, I loved the little bits
yes.
about you inserting the golden egg, because I was thinking to myself, oh God, I did win that with you, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, well, 100%. We need to pay whoever wrote that introduction. It was so expertly crafted.
Absolutely.
So you've had your 3 practice laps. How do you think they went?
I think they went okay. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, as I say, because it's, weird now sitting here on the other side of the fence, being on the other foot, because I've done all these interviews, all 12 prior to this one, this being the 13th and final one. So now to sit here and go, well, actually, now I'm the one with the controller in my hands. I've got, I've watched everybody else do their practice laps. I've watched everybody else do their timed laps. So, if it was for the fact that I maybe wouldn't have known this course, I'd have been like, oh yeah, this is a slight advantage. But as someone who grew up watching Formula One, who's played the modern Formula One games with this track in, I already somewhat knew this track. So I feel like I've done fairly respectfully in terms of time. It's difficult for me to say at this stage. Yeah.
No, of course. I mean, to be fair, they don't call you a controller holder for no reason, so you'd hope the controller would be in your hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, looking forward at this event, if you
Mhm.
had the choice to pick just any game that would fit into this event, anything from like a TV show, what would you choose?
Oh, man. See, this is what I mean by, I've interviewed so many people and, I'm sitting there going, oh, I wonder what they're going to answer. And I'm sitting here now going, damn, what the hell do I answer to that? I suppose one of the really obvious answers for me is probably a Robot Wars game, like Arenas of Destruction. But I also remember Chris saying something along those lines, so I'm going to try and figure out something different off the top of my head. There was a PS2 game based off the old cartoon Wacky Races. It was
I love that show.
yeah, it was I think the game was called Wacky Races featuring Dastardly and Muttley, I think was the name of the game. And it was such a good game. I absolutely adore that. So if we could work that in somehow, I mean, because it's based off a TV show, it's fair game. I think we could actually get it in there. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay, fair enough. So people watching can get to know you better. Can you name for us, in any particular order, your 5 favorite TV shows of all time?
Again, this is what I mean by I'm sitting here like, I really should have thought of this earlier on while I was waiting for this to come up.
Should have put your answers in the script here, I think.
I could have put some answers in. Okay, well, I think the obvious first one's going to be Doctor Who. I know so many people have answered that already in this, but I have to answer that one because it is, the show that's been with me the longest period of time. I think the other one that may have only been before it would have been Robot Wars, but I'm going to avoid saying Robot Wars for this one because there's a few other shows I want to pay heed to. So I was to say Doctor Who would definitely be one. Robot Wars, if I could expand it to 8, Robot Wars would probably be in there somewhere. But I think, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, absolutely bloody love Red Dwarf.
I love that show. I need to see more of it, actually. I only got up to like the 2nd season, I think.
Yeah. Gosh, what else? I'm going to lump these together because they're technically sort of the same show. But like, even though one's technically a spin-off, Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes, I bloody loved Life on Mars, and Ashes to Ashes is, I know this will be somewhat blasphemous for people who really love Life on Mars, but I think Ashes to Ashes is even better than Life on Mars. I think it was a brilliant show.
Wow.
Philip Glenister is one of my favourite actors ever. Gosh, what else?
Please don't dislike bomb the video because of that, guys. Please don't.
Yeah, Ashes to Ashes fans are going to come here and be like, hey, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of Life on Mars fans just dislike bombing the video.
that very like clear part of our audience, the Life on Mars fans. Like...
Yeah. No, they're probably going to be sitting there waiting for that third show. What was it supposed to be called? I think it was Lazarus. It was supposed to be called the third show, and they'll be sitting there waiting for that, and instead they'll just be dislike bombing this video in the meantime. But no, so Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes is going to lump those in together. For my 4th one, man. See, I could say Robot Wars, I could say Wacky Races, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's one of those shows that I can watch on repeat and never get sick of it. In fact, some of these on Twitch, there'll be sometimes people who will do like 24/7, show streams. So they'll have like, I know currently there's one in that Cat's watching in the other room. It's like a 24/7 Doctor Who stream. And we started watching that because there was no Always Sunny stream, and I, for some weird reason, can fall asleep to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know why. It's the most chaotic, one of the most chaotic shows in existence, but yet I can sleep to Always Sunny. It's just one of those cozy types of shows, despite being absolutely mayhem.
I get what you mean there, actually. Yeah, it's like one of those shows that you can sort of you know, it's like sort of casual in a way. You can like flick on, not have to think about it. Like maybe you get in drunk from like a night out, or you're high at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, show's there for you, sort of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. I think for the other one, I think I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with What We Do in the Shadows. I absolutely love that show. I have not watched all of season 6 yet, so I don't know how it ends. I hope it ends well because, as I say, the past 5 seasons have been brilliant. Fingers crossed it ends on a really good note, because that's one of those things when you get to a final season, is so many shows seem to mess up.
Don't do what How I Met Your Mother did.
I haven't watched all of How I Met Your Mother, so I don't know that one. But like, I'm thinking Game of Thrones.
You're one
for
of the
example.
few that don't know how that ends. Then,
probably. Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones that ended on a bit of a dour note. And to be honest, I might come across as a bit crazy for saying this, but the 9th series of The Office as well sort of ended on a bit iffy note as well.
Yeah.
Like, I love The Office, and it was just like Series 9 was like, it's a bit rough.
Because they got like Catherine Tate of all people to come in and replace Steve Carell, and I think she's like a really funny and talented actress in her own right. It's just, it felt like a bit of a bizarre choice bringing her into an American sitcom.
Absolutely.
Because it was, if you ever saw Not Going Out, like the first season, like it was good, but it wasn't great, and I think a lot of people felt having like an American main character in the first season just didn't gel as well as when they brought Sally Breton on as Lucy, like from seasons 2 onwards.
The Lee Mack show.
The Lee Mack show.
Yeah, I've not actually watched it properly.
That's also been going on for 100 years. Like,
and Tim Vine's only been in 6 of them, I think, from what I understood.
Yeah, then he sort of stepped away. But then they got Hugh Dennis in, so it was like, you know, they at least like substituted with someone who was.
I was gonna say, is that an upgrade, Hugh Dennis? As I say, I almost wanted to call it an upgrade on Tim Vine there, and I'm like, I do quite like Hugh Dennis, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the thing as well. Is like, I think they're both great, but for different reasons. I think Hugh Dennis really proved his chops in shows like Outnumbered, though. If anyone saw the Christmas special that aired this year, just gone, it was brilliant. It was like, I think 8 years in the making since they'd aired any kind of episode of that show, and they just kind of picked up the characters 8 years later so perfectly and stayed true to all of them. But yeah, Hugh Dennis was brilliant in that show.
I still think the weirdest thing that I can say about Hugh Dennis, sorry, I know this is completely off
topic, no, it's right, yeah.
I remember watching the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die, and of course he's in that, Hugh Dennis, and I'm like, I remember looking and going, wait, what the hell are you doing in this film? I mean, it's such a small part, but it's a cool part, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see why they gave that to Hugh Dennis, that's fine, yeah. But it was just so out of left field, because I don't think I'd read any spoilers with regard to Hugh Dennis being like cast in it or whatever, and I'm just seeing him then in the film, and I was like, well, okay, yeah, sure, all right, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That's one of them things, you know. Like sometimes I think a left field decision can be good if it ends up kind of working and whatever, but there's always an element of gamble in that. I mean, Bryan Cranston with Breaking Bad, for example.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because, of course, you know, Malcolm in the Middle was his previous, like, swan song. And that would have been a very good one to go out on as well. But, hey-ho. Anyway, look at us, so out of character for going off topic. So, you chose number 1, a number that no one else chose, I can confirm.
Absolutely.
And as a result, you got Benetton Renault.
Yeah, Benetton.
So Benetton. Okay, cool. You can tell I'm not the racing fan of us two. Which driver have you picked to represent you?
So, yeah, I'd love to say it was a tough choice, but I only had 2 driver choices to choose from. One of them was, you know, notable Sky Sports F1 pundit Johnny Herbert. You know, fine, I guess. Not bad. But it's kind of hard to argue when the other guy is Michael Schumacher. And I mean, look, you know,
True.
Michael Schumacher, my childhood hero. Honestly, I think he was for many people. You know, our childhood heroes. For me, at least, you know, it was him and Kimi Räikkönen. Obviously, Kimi Räikkönen is not in this game, so I'm just like, yep, I got to go with the Michael. So yeah, gonna take his Benetton round for a spin and see how we go. Yeah.
So I was going to say Michael Schumacher, a bit like Ronnie O'Sullivan is for like snooker, is like a name that you almost think, wow, this name is F1, you know. You say Schumacher, you think, Michael Schumacher, Formula One, that kind of thing. You know,
Him
when I was 11.
Lewis Hamilton, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I was going to say, even when I was 11 in primary school, and, you know, Chris was the one, like, going on about the racer names and whatever, you know, I didn't really care about all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, like, Schumacher and Hamilton, they definitely, like, stuck in my mind after all these years. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, before we begin your lap, how well do you think you can do? And can you give us a rough estimate of what the time you think will be? In terms of your lap.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'd do pretty well. Time-wise, it's hard to say because, again, you know, I'm doing this last, so there's a lot of pressure riding on me to try and get a good time. And in one respect, like, I'm sitting here now like, I wish I'd done this first, maybe it would have made a bit more sense. So now I've got a lot of pressure on me to try and crack, because, you know, I don't think I'm going to go 2 minutes or lower. I don't see that. You know, like I said, I've played Monaco in the modern F1 game, so I don't see it being lower than more than 2 minutes. I would like to say I want to be lower than 1:30, like, because I'd like to put it in the top 3. So either just behind Chris, because I think he's a 1:33, or just behind Skater on a 1:27. Even if I could beat Skater with like a 1:20 something beyond the 7, I'd like to do that. We'll see.
That'd be quite poetic, I think.
Be quite poetic, and I'm sitting here now like, shit, I put a ton of pressure on myself in saying that, so oof, no pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time to get the lap started.
Absolutely.
So let's head on over.
All right, here we go.
Okay, good luck.
So my idea is I'll try and carry as much speed. Oh, that didn't work. I was trying to carry as much speed as I possibly could into the corner there, but it's not quite favoured me.
Okay, you've built it back up though. Okay, right. Timer's off. Oh,
I didn't mean to hit that corner. That was accidental.
That's all good.
Because I was trying to carry the momentum into the corner, but it didn't quite take.
Wow. Okay, you're doing this a lot smoother than I did. Touch wood, sorry.
No, you're right.
Don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, no, you're doing pretty well so far.
Because the thing is, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid the brake so much, and I'm trying to do a bit of, I don't know if you know what I mean by lift and coast type of thing.
Is it where you sort of like take the foot off the accelerator at the turns kind of thing? So you're like coasting. Yeah. That's sort of what I was trying to do during my lap, and I think I did it to varying degrees of success, but I think a lot of this is like muscle memory and kind of knowing the track as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think, as we'll probably be seeing throughout this entire qualifier round, you know, the varying levels of like racing literacy amongst us.
For sure.
Oh! All right. Okay, we're back after having seen Kiwi's lap, and I just want to ask: do you think you went faster than you estimated?
I don't know. It's hard to say, because I know I binned it in the wall on that first corner, and that was not the plan. I think I even tweaked the wall as I was doing the rolling start. So I'd like to say it was still fast enough, but I'm not sure, you know.
Okay, well, the good news is you're not being eliminated, so we
Okay.
can we can scrap that worry out of the conscience if it was in there.
I'll be honest, I didn't think I was going to be in contention for that, but yeah, appreciate the...
I didn't think so either. Just
appreciate
thought I'd do the obvious bit first.
Yeah, the good news, yeah.
I'm wondering if I should do a obscure reference like a Nick Knowles' Secret Fortune, where it's like, your secret fortune will not be this amount of... But it's like, your placement is not this, it's not, you know. Anyway, that aside... Here we go. The Kiwi Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
You did it in 1 minute
Ooh.
and 26.5 seconds.
No way.
Meaning you are first place. You have just won the qualifier round.
Oh, I thought I'd really binned it there in that first corner. Oh, mate.
So, how do you feel about that?
Very happy. Very, very happy. I honestly thought now that I was completely out of contention when I hit that corner, the first bit, and I was like, no, I bumped the wheel off it, and I think I may have ever so slightly clipped it a little bit when I went over the chicane as well, so I thought, nah, this is going to be it. I just wasn't carrying the speed properly through the lap, but yeah, apparently I must have done just enough just to take past Skater, because I think that's a full second, I think, just about faster than him, so yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Pretty much 1 full second, and now you can understand my reaction towards the end of that lap.
Yeah, no, because I wasn't paying attention to the clock at all, so...
Yeah. I was seeing it when it was at 1 minute 20, and I could see that end line in sight. I was just, oh my goodness, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? It was incredible. It was a spectacle to see.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, the drive wasn't perfect, but it was clearly better than everyone else's. So
somehow, despite bumping a wall.
Well, there we go. So, is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I'm very happy with the lap. I think this is going to be a strong start to my campaign for trying to defend the controller, because I want to be the first person to actually defend the controller in a square rally. Nobody else has done it yet. We either had people vacate it, or they've not been able to make it to a final to actually defend it, and I want to be the first person to be able to say, hey, look, I've actually successfully done it inside of a square rally, so this is a good start.
Yeah.
We got to keep plugging away and make sure we get to grand final and go from there.
And I mean, I guess the other interesting thing as well is because if we look back to Quickelodeon, Rexy actually came last place in that qualifier round and ended up winning it all. So
true, yeah.
We could see a potential like Radiant Midnight Hart kind of comeback.
Yeah, no, I definitely think we could see those two coming back and having good performances in later stages. But yeah, as I say, it'll be interesting to see, especially those two, how they get on, and as the rest of the field as well. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some surprises there from the other 10 people. Well, let's say 9 if you don't count those two and myself. From the rest of the field as to how we're going to get on. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Kiwi, and good luck everyone for the rest of the event.
Alright then, staying on theme now with a Formula 1 style starting grid to bring you the full results of the qualifying. So starting on pole position is the Kiwi Dragon in the Benetton Renault, followed by Skater 6453 in the Simtek Ford, an amazing effort by him in the worst car on the grid. Meanwhile in third, CJC with the Ligier, fourth, Rexy with the McLaren Mercedes, 5th, Dreadclaw Dragodon with the Sauber, and 6th, Gizmocat 11 with the Footwork Hart. Moving on now to the next section, 7th, Coyote in the Ferrari, 8th, Bobbledink with the Williams Renault, 9th, King of the Pigus in the Forti Ford, and 10th, Connor David in the Minardi Ford for the last of the under 2 minute laps. And last, of course, we have in 11th place Radiant in the Pacific Ford with a 206.037 and Midnight Heart with a 206.160. Very close there, only split by a tenth of a second. But of course, if the observant amongst you will have noticed, there is a name missing. Fifth Doctor 5e is out failing to qualify, eliminated with a time of 2 minutes and 8 seconds. We now take you to Fifth Doctor 5e, or Jade, for her thoughts.
This is Fifth Doctor 5e. I'm currently recording this video in Palm Springs in California. That's where I am now. So yeah, you guys have probably heard the big news on TV Takeover. Yeah, I've been eliminated. Yeah. Well, you know, someone's got to go out, so unfortunately it was the unlucky person. It was me. Nothing I could do about it, but yeah, it was fun whilst it lasted. I thought the lap went well. I didn't crash into anything, so there's a plus, but unfortunately, as we all found out, I got the slowest time of 2 minutes 8 seconds, so unfortunately that wasn't good, but you can only do your best. A bit disappointing, but you know, it was close. Very, very close. I mean, I think there were 2 people that got times that were quicker than mine. I can't remember who they were, but unfortunately only 12 people could go through, and unfortunately I wasn't one of them. Yeah, a bit disappointing. Well, I mean, I guess you could say I'm not that good at driving games. I did my lap, I did all the best I could, and unfortunately I didn't go through. So here's to 6 weeks being on holiday. I look forward to participating in the next game on Square to Charge, but I don't know when that will be. I mean, I come back on 1st of April, so as soon as I get back, hopefully I can play some more games.
Alright then, now that we have the official confirmation that Fifth Doctor 5e, also known as Jade, has been eliminated from the television takeover event in the Squares and Exceedingly Fast Cars round, we can now bring you the full match card for round 1 of television takeover. That's right, it's going to be flashing up on your screen right now, starting with the winner of the qualifying round, the Kiwi Dragon. He will be facing off against the 5th placed Dreadclaw Dragodon, and they will be joined by the 9th placed King of the Pigus to make a match consisting of New Zealand versus Canada versus America, as Group Clarkson play Looney Tunes Sheep Raider to beat the first 3 levels, and the top 2 will advance to round 2. Next up, it's Skater 6453, the 2nd placed finisher in the qualifier. His tag team partner, the 6th placed Gizmo Cat 11, and of course they are joined by the Irishman Connor David, who finished in 10th place. The 3 of them comprise Group Hammond, and they'll be facing off in Jackie Chan Adventures on the PlayStation 2 with the goal of completing the Mexican prologue. Again, the top 2 will advance to round 2. Next up, the 3rd placed CJC. He will be joined by Coyote, as they are also joined by Radiant, of course, who finished in 11th place in the qualifier. They, of course, comprise Group May, making this an England versus New Zealand versus America match in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire UK to see who will score the most money in one game. And finally, it's the 4th placed Rexy, who will be paired up against the 8th placed Bobbledink. And of course, they will be joined by none other than the 12th placed Midnight Hart. That's right, Group Crayola is back under a new name. It's Group Stig facing off in Pink Panther Pinkadelic Pursuit, making the most progress in 30 minutes. The top two will advance. But that is going to be it for today's festivities. Thank you for joining us. It has been a long, nearly 3.5 hours as we have gone through all of the competitors, given them all a bit of an interview, gone through their qualifying laps. We've seen who was fastest, we've seen who was slowest, and unfortunately, we have said goodbye to one competitor already. Fifth Dr. 5e, once again, is out of the contest, but I have a sneaking suspicion we won't see the last of her yet. We might just see her again fairly soon. But join us again next time. We will be moving on to round 1 into the group matches for Group Clarkson, Group Hammond, Group May, and Group Stig. So let's see who will make the top 8. But until then, we'll catch you all in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.